I'm Rick Smith, host of The Rick Smith Show. If you're looking for honest talk, real stories, and straight-up news that matters to you, tune in to The Rick Smith Show. We're digging into the issues that affect your job, your family, your future. Join me weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network, because your voice deserves to be heard. That's The Rick Smith Show, heard weeknights at 9 right here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Pete Schwaba. On the next show, I'm joined.
Live from the land of cheese, beer, and unsolicited opinions, it's John and Gordy in the afternoon.
It's John and Gordy as usual right here. And what a day. Whoa.
Oh, boy.
It's brisk out there, man. There's some kind of wind, huh?
It's windy. It's cold. It's, let's see, here at Madison, where we're broadcasting live from our headquarters, a block off the Capitol. It's 20 degrees. Over in Milwaukee, 18. They've got a little bit of light snow there. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun. Up in Wausau, 16 degrees. Those feel like temperatures are much colder. So bundle up if you're heading out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Today. Dress
yeah.
in layers,
Well,
cover
yes,
up.
Okay.
Try to stay warm. It was really slick and icy here in Madison very early this morning. A lot of slide-offs on the belt line going around the city.
Really?
And the interstate, I think from Janesville up to probably around the Dells, was very slick and backed up for quite a while.
Black ice? Or?
Well, yeah, we got just enough precipitation overnight, and then it froze. Temperatures were in the mid-30s around midnight, and then just nosedived overnight, and got that little bit of snow, and then that froze very quickly.
Yeah, I heard that, and so I decided instead of coming in nice and early today that I would go back to bed.
Is that why you were late getting in today?
Oh, Is
that your excuse?
No.
Okay.
It's the weather. I'm telling you.
He's got a better one. He's just not going to use it right
That's
now.
fine. That's fine. No, we want people to be safe.
Yeah.
Be cautious. But now the roads are just fine. It's just really cold and breezy. So deal with it. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Just
Wow. Okay.
do what you got to do to stay warm.
Brutal.
Yeah.
You're brutal, man.
A little bit later on, Mike McCabe will join us, Substack blogger and author. And we're also going to talk to Emily Grunwald from the Overture Center, right across the street from us here, about Jerry Fauci, a major contributor and big force here in Madison, who passed away recently. And that'll be coming up a little bit later on.
Nice.
So, how you doing today, partner? What's happening?
Well, my voice is almost gone here, but I took one of your throat lozenges. And,
did you?
Yeah, it kind of worked a little bit.
Well,
They're magic lozenges. We talked backstage when Stephanie Miller was in town,
Right.
With the Sexy Liberal show, traveling sideshow that she has. And we talked to one of the comedians that appeared at that show, and he told us that there's the best lozenge ever for people who have to use their voice in their occupation.
Yeah.
And we don't know what that...
Well, it had an unusual name. I thought it was
forgot.
I thought it was a chewing gum. No?
It is a chewing gum.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe you can call into the show and ask. I don't know. I don't know if they'll take that question.
Most entertainers use this, especially when they have a cold or something that affects their voice, and we just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You remember the comedian?
I'm trying to find it right now. Hal Sparks.
Hal Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really funny guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, but he was raving about this
He
chewing
was.
gum and
He
said,
was.
"Oh, you got to find it." And now, we don't know what it is. Had an unusual name. I think we both wrote it down on scraps of paper and then lost it completely.
I think society could benefit with this chewing gum. We can keep the rap going.
Okay.
All right? Keep the talk.
We'll
Keep
do
the
some more
discussion
research.
on.
We'll reach out to Al and see
well,
if he can, tell us.
Look,
the
we
secret
know
in chewing
Stephanie.
gum. We do.
She's on our station
Talk
here
to
in
him.
Madison, WMDX, right? And I mean, we could call them and ask them to do a little promo for us and say, "Oh, by the way,
sure.
what's that chewing gum you guys?"
Oh yeah, what a great idea. Let's we'll
Okay,
try that
there
after
you
we
go.
get off the show. We'll try to reach out. Find out.
we should spitball more of the stuff on the air.
Why not?
Let everybody in on this stupid inside thing.
Yeah.
Well,
We've got more tickets to give away, by the way, John. The All-American Rejects are coming to the Wisconsin State Fair. This happens Thursday, August 13th. And tickets go on sale this Friday officially at 10 a.m. at wistatefair.com. But we've got some tickets, and you can get them. If you enter the contest here, you could win a pair of tickets. We're giving out keywords each and every day and through Friday. The keyword today, and you got to text this in, just download the Civic Media app. You can click on your local station on the network there and text in the word secret. Secret is the key word.
Oh, it's like their hit song, Dirty Little Secret.
Oh, is that? Oh, you're big fans of the All-American Rejects, huh?
I do know most of their music.
Do you? Okay. Well, secret is the key word, S-E-C-R-E-T. You have until 6 p.m. this evening to text that into us. And who knows, you could be going to see the All-American Rejects at the Wisconsin State Fair Thursday, August 13th. And again, tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at wistatefair.com. Okay.
all right.
That's it. That's all we got on that.
Well, we're
We'll
really
remind you
rolling
again
now.
Oh, boy.
We're going to be talking about stupid comment, actually an ad from Tom Tiffany. We'll go over that. And the GoFundMe page where a lot of money is being raised for the Ford worker suspended.
Right.
And also Ice Commander Bovino, Gregory Bovino.
Yeah.
He's making the rounds in Minneapolis.
Is he?
And we'll hear from him. He was interviewed by CBS News. Now, here's the interesting thing. CBS News is up there, and they're calling into question a lot of what's going on.
Are they?
They're kind of aggressive. Yeah.
No kidding.
And who's the new anchor?
That's Tony DeCopel.
Tony DeCopel.
He did an interview with Trump.
He was interviewing Trump at the Ford plant.
Oh, really?
And I got to tell you, he didn't mince words with him about all the people who were unemployed at this point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I'm a little impressed.
Oh, good. All
See
right.
some spark of life in the major media
No
circles.
kidding. Well, that's good. I'm glad Tony DeCopel's stepping up a little bit because early on, he just started as the new anchor, I think, last week.
That little rant he had at the beginning?
Well, no, he, first of all, the first night on the air, they had all kinds of technical problems, and it was a meltdown. It was really badly, it was a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
They had one problem after another on his very first night, which has got to be awful. But then later in the week, he did a puff piece about Marco Rubio. Just talking about, he wears all these hats in the government. He's doing a terrific job. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But it was really, it was quite the featurey piece on how much work Marco Rubio is doing behind the scenes.
Okay, well, I take it back then. Maybe he doesn't have any backbone.
Well,
I'm not
we'll
sure.
find out. I'm interested to hear more of that interview he did with Donald Trump.
Well,
And,
there's a big controversy going on in the UK over X
Really?
and AI-generated sexual content.
What's the problem?
And they have passed rules and regulations in the UK to ban any software, any media source that presents all of this stuff. Now, in X, Grok AI is part of X now. So, you just can't say, okay, we can't use Grok anymore because Grok is part of it, and Grok is generating AI sexual content. And the UK is saying, no, we're going to ban you guys.
Not going to do it, huh?
You can't. We're not going to have X in our country. And now Trump is getting involved too.
Oh, good.
Because, I don't know, he has something at stake in X. I don't know. Why is he jumping into the fray and all of this
He's
stuff?
He's the master micromanager.
He is.
That's what he is.
No, he truly is. He truly
Got to
is.
get his fingers on everything. Here locally, I guess some students were protesting, some high school students, right, from East Washington?
Yeah.
And we have a little bit of video, or we have some audio
East
of this.
and West.
East and West High School. And where were they? Do we know where they were? Were they at the Capitol?
They marched up to the Capitol,
Okay.
yes.
Let's hear what that sounded like. I think we've got some sound from that, right?
Yep. There it is.
Okay. Oh,
Those are our whistles.
those whistles.
Many of them are.
Actually, our own Catherine Lake went up there
Yeah.
and handed out some of those whistles.
We also have
they
some chanting that they did when they were up to the Capitol.
That's right.
Yeah.
A.J. Bayapur.
Okay. ICE has got to
you
go.
can't hear it.
That's
Yep.
right.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. ICE has got to go.
I mentioned A.J. Bayapur. He used to be a reporter here in Madison.
Yeah.
Moved into Milwaukee and is doing really, really well. And he reported this on X. He says students from both Madison East and West High School have walked out to protest ICE at the state capitol today. He estimates about 200 to 300 students were there in the first floor rotunda and the second floor above. So that's a lot of kids.
It is.
And it's great to see them participating. I think a lot of people have had it at this point, watching what's going on in Minneapolis.
Yes. All right. I was trying to think back to my high school days. I don't remember actually protesting out of high school doing that kind of thing. I don't think we did walkouts or anything back then in the mid-'60s or late 60s.
No, we didn't do that.
It hadn't occurred to high schoolers that you could actually walk out of school and protest and do
College
something
had
like
a
that.
lock on that.
College, college, completely different story. It seemed like all the campuses were doing protests, about Vietnam and Nixon almost all the time. I mean, it got pretty heavy there toward the end.
Of course, the kids
Late
in high
60s.
school and they call it junior high.
Yeah.
We watched our parents get really angry at our older siblings who were going to college, and they didn't like all the protests and how they dressed and
Long
the boyfriends
hair.
or girlfriends that they brought home. So as kids in high school and junior high, we thought, well, we're not going to get into that fray.
Right.
We're not stepping over the line here at home.
Yeah.
So we just we didn't protest.
But a lot of those college kids did protest, and if they hadn't gone to college and gotten a college deferment, the deal was you
At
get
that time,
drafted.
yeah.
Because the draft was on, and it was big time back then.
Yeah.
I mean, they were drafting everybody and their brother in the late 60s.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, me too.
I just missed that.
I was, they had that lottery for a few years,
Yeah.
and I was a part of it 2 years, and
I think
got
it was
lucky.
in 71 or 70, something like that. My last year at Leighton Art School in Milwaukee, and then I became eligible help.
Yeah.
And then they had the lottery. And I had a high number, and I didn't get called up.
But, we remember what that was like. We
Oh,
have
it
those
was
memories.
very tense.
Of Vietnam
Yes.
and Nixon and the Chicago Convention where, when Daley said, shoot to kill these kids that are out there protesting. That's the Democratic mayor of Chicago. And we recall all of those things vividly, but I think anybody younger than 70, I mean,
Yeah,
60s,
I don't think-
people in their 60s.
They don't
and
know.
lower,
They don't know what the tension level was at that time.
and so it kind of feels very similar now to what it was like back then when it was tense every day. And we're kind of getting there. I guess we're already there, seeing what's going on every day.
I don't know. Maybe at that time, had I gone to Canada
Yeah.
to avoid the draft,
Yeah, I was
I'd be a
thinking about
Canadian today.
I know,
And,
I was
we
thinking
wouldn't be
about
going
it.
through this.
Yeah. Canada's still there.
It is.
Sault Ste. Marie, only 7 hours north of us. So, be ready to pack your bags, I guess. 19 minutes past the hour, just getting going on a Wednesday. It's John and Gordy. Stay with us.
My dirty little secret, dirty little secret, dirty little secret. Who has to know? Who has to know?
WMDX in the Mad City, 4 Lakes, State Street, and 9,000 hemp shops.
Herbal Aspect has landed. That's right, Madison's go-to cannabis destination now has a brand new location in Sun Prairie.
Wait, 4 locations? That's a high level of convenience.
With 3 Madison locations and now Sun Prairie, a great cannabis experience is always close by. Our expert staff is here to help, whether you walk in, call, or order online. Mention Radio 420 and get a special discount. So stop by Herbal Aspect in Sun Prairie, because great cannabis isn't just a pipe dream.
Nice. I'm rolling over now.
Herbal Aspect.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. So why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They're draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Oh, wait. You're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROFIT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PROFIT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROFIT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROFIT.
Listen to the Civic Media exclusive podcast, Busted Pencils.
Our guest, Dr. Jonathan Gerko. Johnny, jump in there.
I think there was very little radical about Mamdani. Free buses, for example. I ride the bus. Very few people actually pay the fare today. And you're riding the bus to work, or to go to school, or to spend your money in a different part of town. Hardly a radical public service.
Subscribe to Busted Pencils wherever you listen to podcasts.
Turbulence.
Just the mood of the country.
Brett related his memory here is at 63. I remember it all. Had an older sister who was a hippie. Me too.
Yeah.
But there was more to it than the war, the killing of the Kennedy brothers, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And the civil rights movement, along with women's liberation. Abby Hoffman, he says, was his hero at the time.
Yeah.
So, a lot going on back then. We've talked to Paul Soglin, the former mayor of Madison, a few times about the past.
Right.
What happened here in Madison.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it was happening a lot on college campuses.
Yes, all across the country.
Yeah. And feeling that same kind of mood lately across the country.
And Kent State, was that major turning point.
It was.
And maybe Renee Good is that other turning point for us today.
Well, possibly so, yeah. Kent State, the National Guard was on campus there, and the students were protesting, and it got out of hand, and 4 students were shot and killed that day. And that was a major turning point. And I think that opened the eyes not only of the the other students that were there and on other college campuses. But I think their parents finally, the older generation started to say, you know what, maybe this Vietnam War and maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe it's time to reverse course.
Well, remember all the deception that was used. I mean, we were doing things that we weren't telling the press about or the American people about, or they were caught lying about what they were doing in Vietnam.
And Daniel Ellsberg and the Pentagon Papers, that was a major thing because he had discovered some Pentagon Papers and had possession of those and was caught with those. They searched his house, I think, or offices.
Yeah.
And that was a big trial that went on, but freedom of the press was an issue then, and now here again today.
That's right.
FBI agents searched Washington Post reporter's home on Wednesday. You have a track talking about this, MS Now. I sent it to you earlier, Aaron. Maybe you don't have that yet, but it's basically an introduction to this story.
It's the search of a reporter's home.
The reporter was Hannah Nadenson, who's been covering President Trump's transformation of the federal government.
Where did you send it to?
I sent it. I sent you an email. I thought I did. Maybe I sent it to you, John. All right. Well, we'll get that. Let me get it here in a moment.
All right.
Anyway, it's
well, that's a frightening thing that just happened. Obviously, having something like that. Now, you got to keep in mind that Biden protected the press. He put rules in place that protected the press from this kind of search. That now Trump decided, he's going to throw it the other way. He's going the other way. They're going to search the press now. They're going to go for the leakers. And that's the big problem. If they're so damn open, if this is the most open administration ever in the world, and they're doing this now, trying to prevent the press from getting this information. And by the way, they should. If there's a leak and the press gets it, they should print it.
Right.
All right, so let's listen to that cut right now.
No, hang on, we're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
It's going through all the tubes.
It's going through the tubes right now. It has to go way out in space and then travel through the tubes, and then
the internet is a series of tubes.
It has to get 10 feet away from me over there.
Well, you remember he also preceded that by saying it's not a dump truck. It's just where it's put stuff in. All right. Well, anyway, the tubes are working for us here. So we'll get to that in just a few moments.
Please stand by.
But again, I want to give credit where credit is due. Yeah. Biden said he's going to protect the First Amendment and the freedom of the press. And this is the way to do it, to protect them from the administration searching their property.
All right.
Let's listen.
Here's that story.
Attorney General Pam Bondi just confirmed the FBI executed a search warrant at the home of a Washington Post journalist. Bondi says the journalist was, quote, obtaining and reporting classified and illegally leaked information from the Pentagon contractor, who she adds is currently behind bars. Hannah Natenson, who covers the federal workforce, was at her home when this search was executed. The Post says she has been part of the publication's most high-profile and sensitive coverage during the first year of the second Trump administration.
So they took her phone, they took 2 laptops, and a Garmin watch from her Virginia home.
Fitness watch, boy.
Well, that's got to have a lot of sensitive information. Yeah. But apparently she published a piece recently describing how she had gained hundreds of new sources, leading one colleague to call her the federal government whisperer. Mm-hmm. So apparently they're after her and her information. And
it's okay if she disclosed that. Yeah. I mean, she should be able to disclose that.
Right.
Yeah. The whisperer, fine, Mm-hmm. If she's got those kinds of sources, I feel confident in the fact that she's going to report that information when it's available. Why not?
And we remember that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump put a clamp down on the Pentagon reporters and what kind of information they got, and they would have to sign an agreement.
I think they went a little over the top with that.
A little, yeah.
You got to present the story to us. We're going to approve the story or not.
Right.
That was pretty surreal.
Yeah,
that whole event,
and even to be allowed to go to the Pentagon briefings every day, they had to sign an agreement. And
and everybody walked out. That was really fantastic.
It was,
except for the alternative right-wing media.
Right. Yeah. They said, okie dokie.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we got Dick on the line. We'll get to Dick in just a few moments right here with John and Gordy.
Yep. Coming right back.
Blood and gore, I'll be the first to go. Yes, I'm only 18. I got a ruptured spleen and I always carry a purse. I've got eyes like a bat and my feet are flat and my asthma's getting worse. Yes, think of my career, my sweetheart dear, my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool, I'm a-going to school and I'm working in a defense plant.
Madison and 92.7 WMDX, both weird in the best way. Construction barrels bloom every spring. So do opinions. WMDX, guiding Madison through life's most predictable surprises.
Fewer than 12 hours remain before Megan Salentine from Kewaunee County is no longer our fairest of the fairs. I'm Pam Yankee. Now, from the Rural Mutual Insurance Farm News Desk, here's what's happening on a Wednesday. You know, she's logged literally thousands of miles across the state, speaking up and promoting Wisconsin fairs. And now, in a few hours, one of 36 candidates standing in the wings will take over that responsibility. Megan Salentine just smiles. She says she knows what it feels like to be hoping that you'll be selected. And she's got a little advice for those 36 finalists.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for each contestant to be here, to get to experience all that convention has to offer, especially for the next fairist. I just wanted to make sure that all of them know how much gratitude they should have to get to be here. Their county does so much work to get to invite them here, but I really want them to just be themselves, because the judges are just looking for somebody to represent fair love in the industry. So just to be themselves, share their confidence, and especially be grateful for every moment that they get.
Megan Salentine from Kewaunee County, our current fairest of the fairs. Tonight, she'll be joined by not only the 36 contestants that want to be the next fairest of the fairs, celebrating their 60th anniversary tonight. Many of the former fairest of the fairs will be returning to the Chula Vista Resort in Wisconsin Dells to catch up, share stories, and find out who our next fairest is. Midwest Farm Report's Kylie Allen is going to be on the scene all day today and tonight, and will be posting updates at Midwest Farm Report on social media.
Did you know you can leverage crop insurance to benefit your bottom line? Ag Country Farm Credit Services can help. Choosing the right coverage for your goals can help maximize margins, strengthen your marketing strategy, and build a more resilient operation overall. As you plan for the season ahead, focus on more than just managing risk. Call 800-450-9858 to speak with one of our dedicated crop insurance officers. This institution is an equal opportunity provider and employer.
What does life on the cutting edge mean to Riley LaPinka?
Making hay has changed so much now with Harv Extra Alfalfa. You don't have to be tied down to a certain cutting window. That saves us a lot of headache, a lot of cost, wear and tear on machinery, you name it. It just cuts all that down.
Harv Extra Alfalfa with Roundup Ready technology gives you an extra edge when it comes to cutting flexibility. Hear more of Riley's story at harvextra.com.
Students Josie Bailey from Toma, Faith Burgess from Schulzburg, Victoria Havlick from Clintonville, and Brooke Malik from Junction City have been selected as interns for the Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation. They'll serve various organizations within that association. This news update brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance, Wisconsin only and Wisconsin strong. Find your local insurance agent at ruralmutual.com. I'm PM Yankee.
From the capital to your kitchen table, Madison's biggest stories live right here on 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Skies will gradually turn mostly sunny as we head into the afternoon. A blustery north wind up around 35 miles per hour and highs in the lower 20s. Overnight, partly cloudy near 10 above. Our wind chills down around 0. A little light snow Thursday. It's 21 at our studios.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Join me, Tom Hartman, each and every weekday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Tom Hartman program right here on Civic Media. I talk about the issues that all Wisconsinites can get behind, from unrigging our economy so it works for all of us, not just the billionaire class, to improving our representative government, to delivering on the promise of we the people. Tune in middays right here on your local Civic Media station from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the Tom Hartman program. Tag, you're it.
Pete Schwaba.
John and Gordy, the sandbox of fun, where we have our whistles now.
That's right. Look out. Okay. Let's go to the phones. 855-752-4842. We've been talking about how this whatever this is that we're in right now.
Yeah. How it compares to like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s, same kind of mood, a lot of confusion, a lot of, violence, or the feeling that violence could break out just about any time.
We did so much way back when.
The assassinations, the war, Nixon.
And Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
That
civil rights
was huge at the time, and we warned everybody that if you voted Trump in the first time, that Roe v. Wade could be overturned, and no one listened.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the phones. Dick is on the line from Madison. Good afternoon, Dick. Go ahead.
Oh, real quick, don't forget, can't trust anybody over 30.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And another thing I find interesting, though, back then, the very guy that's president now would be the scourge of the earth. The establishment would not have cared one bit for a draft dodger.
Right. That's right.
So here he is leading the country now. Kind of thing. Another great song, besides that last one you just played, it's the best one in my opinion. But Country Joe and the Fish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
What
that's
are we
right.
fighting for?
Yeah, what are we fighting for? Yeah.
That's, I think I was at Woodstock. I think that's on the live version.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I believe so.
Yeah, the chant was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
right. Thank you, Dick.
We'll have to put that on.
Mm-hmm. Let's head to Prairie du Sac and Mark. Good afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon, guys. I was, going through my news feed and saw an article from Ross Story, but then I linked to something else, and then I linked to how this Ross guy that shot Renee Good, that got injured the previous time. Apparently, this half-wit had a guy stopped. The guy wouldn't open his door. He broke out the rear window and tried to reach in to unlock the door.
Right.
And then he got dragged. Well, what kind of... that's got to be a violation of procedure. You just simply do not do that because of the risk of injury to yourself. Because, if the guy panics and hits the accelerator, and you're going to get... the guy should have been suspended. Shouldn't be... had to go back for remedial training before he, is approaching another vehicle for this. It is just... Oh, he is so sensitive because he was injured in the past. Well, the reason the guy got injured is because he did something absolutely idiotic.
I've got a theory on that too, because he was injured and he was dragged a little bit by that car.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: they're reporting that he has internal bleeding from being hit by Renee Good, and that is
really?
That is incorrect. He wasn't hit by Renee at all. But I think if he has internal bleeding, it has to be from the previous accident that he had trying to reach into a car.
Another note about that somebody had called about that we didn't get to bring up before. During this whole altercation, Renee Good, I keep hearing the narrative from the right that, she was trained to use her vehicle to obstruct traffic and to use it as a weapon. Let's say for a moment that's true. Her training sucked because she had at least 4 opportunities to hit this guy with her car because he stood in front. She said, "I'm not mad at you." He walks around to the side. He's behind. Point number 2, she could have reversed. He walks around again. He's in the front again. she could have gone forward. Instead, she goes backwards. At this point, he steps partially in front of the car on her left, and she turns her wheel to the right.
Yeah.
At this point, he already has his gun out, and so even in self-defense, she could have turned it left and tried to hit him, and she doesn't. So if she was trained to use it as a weapon, she's trained about as well as the ICE agents are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good summary.
Yeah. Let's go back to the phones. Rick from Waukesha.
Yeah, Rick.
What do you got for us today, Rick?
Hey, I'm very studious on this 60s stuff.
Yeah?
I was in high school during the 60s and hoping not to get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a older brother that joined. There's hindsight in the fact that Nixon finally broke out to the public when he had the thing with Robert Frost, I think, interviews, that because when you're the president, you make the laws.
Right.
You are the law.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he never said that while he was president.
Mm-hmm.
He just had everybody doing it for him, the head of the FBI and, you know, whatnot.
Yeah, it was a dark time.
Yeah, I think that was the interview with David Frost.
Yeah, David Frost.
You're thinking about. Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Point.
It's one of those times to look back on and say, oh, my God, how did we ever make it out of the 60s and early 70s? You know, in fact, a lot of us are still recovering from that. And, you know, a lot of the people that returned from Vietnam were not treated really well.
Well, right.
And that was unfortunate because you didn't know who was either drafted or who volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
So that shouldn't have happened.
Right. Well, and, yeah, you know, Nixon, what a piece of work. I mean, a lot of people feel like he should have gone to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they should have, instead of President Ford pardoned him a month after he left office, after Nixon resigned. President Ford pardoned him because they were ready to go to trial with Nixon. They had him on all kinds of counts and with the impeachment and everything else. And if Nixon had had to go through that and went to jail, maybe we wouldn't have the situation that we have today, where pardoning seems to be the free card to get out.
You know, I just found it really surprising to find out all these backroom deals were going on between a number of presidents. But Nixon was negotiating behind the scenes because Johnson had negotiated a peace, a withdrawal from Vietnam.
Right.
And Nixon got involved behind the scenes and killed that negotiation because he wanted to take credit for it.
Right.
And so as soon as Johnson was out, or at least, Johnson didn't run again.
Right.
As soon as Johnson was out, Nixon wanted to take credit for it,
Yeah.
and he blew it.
Well, yes.
But
That
the
war went
fact-
on for another few years.
But the fact that there was a telephone conversation, recorded conversation between Nixon and Johnson said, "You're not really doing this."
Right. Right.
And he never came out, never told anybody that this conversation ever took place. But boy,
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it funny how a lot of this comes out years later, decades later? You find out what really happened.
Same thing with Reagan and Carter.
Yeah. Oh, with the
hostage
with the
situation,
hostages,
Iran
right?
Hostages. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they were ready to release the hostages.
That's right. But Reagan wanted to take credit for it.
So, yeah. So they waited till Reagan was actually
I'm telling you,
inaugurated.
Republicans, they haven't changed.
All right. Let's see. Who do we have next here? Let's go to
Jesse?
Jesse in Madison. Jesse?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say there's a lot of, Republicans and MAGA cultists who are, making the usual comments about these high school kids protesting today. My high school kid was one of those kids today. And I guarantee you dollars to donuts to every Republican listening who thought that these kids are just skipping out of school, that my kid gets better high school grades than you ever got. And he can explain the difference between the conflict in Azerbaijan and Armenia, and they couldn't even find that in an unmarked map. The kids are all right, and they know exactly what's going on in the world. And you know what? Their generation gives me more hope than anything else right now.
Wow.
I absolutely agree, and I've got two Gen Zs at home, and they're really advocates for what they want to do, what they want to change, and they're not waffling, they're not on the fence at all, which sometimes scares me. But I really appreciate that. So it's my son's birthday, by the way, today.
Oh well,
yeah,
happy birthday!
27 years old.
Jesse, thanks for that
All
call.
right, Jesse, thank you.
Let's go to Joe here in Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, good afternoon.
Happy birthday to your dear son. What a lucky boy he is to have you as a pop. So yes, give him a big hug.
Well,
I wanted I wanted to touch on this situation of ICE stops you and says, show ID, prove that you are an American citizen, U.S. citizen. Okay, how does that go? I mean, if you have a driver's license that doesn't prove that you are a U.S. citizen, it matches your ID to your photo, but that doesn't say anything about whether you were born in the United States or not. So you should carry a birth certificate with you. Does your birth certificate have a photo of you? No, it has your little feet, your little footprints on it. You want to match that up, good luck.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, well, passport. You could put a passport, but I take a photo of your passport and then show that to ICE to prove that you're a U.S. citizen. And by the way, people, you don't have to do this. However, it gets important because people have been detained and who are U.S. citizens and close to deportation. And where this gets extremely dicey is that ICE has done a lot with detaining Native American who have tribal ID. Mm-hmm. Now, this gets fascinating to me because tribal ID is A-OK in Wisconsin for voting. You can show them your tribal ID, and that's A-OK as ID to allow you to vote in national, state, and local elections. But the tribal ID is an interesting thing because what the tribal ID says is that you are a member of that tribe. You could be born in France and still be a member of particular tribes. So we're in this weird, wacky world where we have to prove that we are U.S. citizens, and there's not an easy way to do that. And we don't want to have that. We don't want to have this papers, please thing. What are we doing again, and what kind of gymnastics are we going through? Most of the Native American people who have been detained have been detained off reservation. One notable case was this woman named Elaine Miles. She's an actress from the Umatilla tribe up in Washington State, and she was on that Northern Exposure show. She was the nurse named Marilyn Whirlwind. I don't know if you remember her.
Yes,
but
remember
great
her.
actress. She's been but she and a couple relatives were detained by ICE, and had to and they wouldn't accept her tribal ID because they said it looks fake. What?
Man.
What?
Yeah.
And how far does this go? Jamie Raskin had a constituent a U.S. citizzen who spent 5 days in detention before she was eventually able to get released. We are walking down a nutball, ridiculous place. What proves that I'm a U.S. citizen? Do I have to walk around with a passport? And then do you have to get a passport? I know the Ho-Chunk tribe is looking into not only saying that all their members can get tribal ID for free, but they are also saying we will pay for you to get a U.S. passport if that will help you from being detained, particularly off reservation if you're being hijacked off and taken into detention. What's going on with this, you guys? I mean, this is freaking nonsense. You know? I mean, it's, as I said to you yesterday, you want to get rid of the problem of illegal immigrants, then take the people who hire them. And, they were talking yesterday that there was an Uber, a lot of Somalis work for Uber. Well, take the CEO of Uber and put him in. If they're illegal, you put him in jail, not the person driving the car.
Exactly.
Put the CEO who hired them.
Exactly,
It would change.
Yep.
It would change overnight. And in the meantime, you have Native American people being detained when they're holding a tribal ID, which is their identification. That is their identification.
That's right.
It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So I just wanted to bring that up. And boy, I don't know what we're going to start carrying. If you don't have the money for a passport, good luck.
Right.
You got the fire, Joe. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. And Mark even suggested if they're requiring passports, then they should be provided for free.
Right.
Just like a voter ID.
Yeah. Quick break here, and we're back with more of John and Gordy.
5, 6, 7, whatever it is. When I ain't no time, wonder why we walk down the line. All right.
Stay
Stay connected to the stories shaping your community and Wisconsin right here on 92.7 FM WMDX and on the Civic Media app.
At Chance Design Build, we provide remodeling done well with love. Our commitments extend beyond our workplace and your home to support our community. We judge people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin, and we believe all humans deserve quality, publicly funded education, childcare, and health care. But what do you believe in? At Chance Design Build, we believe every person must have the opportunity to thrive. If you're thinking about remodeling your home, go to chancedesignbuild.com to learn more about our commitments to you, your home, and our community.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. From fighting wildfires with air support, helping civilians in flooded neighborhoods, to delivering food and supplies to those who have lost everything, the Army National Guard always responds when disaster strikes. The Army National Guard also trains to be ever vigilant against threats, foreign and domestic. They protect our skies with missile defense weaponry. They secure our information, communications, and infrastructure with cybersecurity. And they protect us against chemical, biological, and radiological hazards with the civilian support team. The Army National Guard also stands ready to deploy and provide support for conflicts or humanitarian missions abroad. Join the Army National Guard and be there to respond, protect, and support your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Aho, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we share stories from Turtle Island, highlighting the people and issues shaping our communities. From protecting water to treaty rights and preserving languages and traditions, we cover it all. Hear voices like Arvina Martin of Emerge Wisconsin, Dr. Stately, Robert Lilligren, and more. Because Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local Civic Media radio station.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Tom Hartman here. Democracy is not a spectator sport, so join me each and every weekday right here on Civic Media for the Tom Hartman program from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Covering the news of the day and sharing ways for you to get off the sidelines and get active in your community, because change starts with you. Get involved and tune in to the Tom Hartman program.
Back in 1942, I was a member of a good platoon. We were on maneuvers in Louisiana one night by the light of the moon. The captain told us to ford a river, that's how it all begun. We were knee-deep in the big muddy, the big fool said to push on.
John and Gordy with you in the afternoon here. Kind of reminiscing back, but we're going through the same thing today.
Yeah. Comparing the late 60s, early 70s with the current situation across the U.S. Taking your phone calls at 855-752-4842. Let's head to McFarland. Tom is on the line. Good afternoon, Tom.
Hi, Devil. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. Yeah. I just have a question in regards to this ICE agent and how they're saying that he has this prior history where he was dragged, et cetera, and how traumatic it was for him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, when was this fitness for duty ever done on this guy? And how do we know who's letting a half-charged, traumatized agent with a weapon go into a situation where there's going to be vehicles if he's so traumatized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who signed off on that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Looks like they're taking anybody, and no matter what has happened in the past to these agents, they're still going to keep them on.
Yeah. It's a great point. Who does the oversight to these incidents?
Well, we found out hardly anybody has.
Right. Doesn't seem
They're not looking into their backgrounds either.
No.
So
they're on their own. It's
all right, Tom,
the
good
Wild
question.
West.
Maybe we can get an answer to that. Jack out in Merrimack, what do you got for us, Jack?
Boy, there's so much stuff. Unbelievable. Rick Smith has got a show from 10 to 11 on Civic Media.
Right.
If people haven't listened to it, it's worth listening to.
Oh, it is.
One of the things he says is that in the craziness that's being done, everything from the Gestapo tactics to giving away trillions to billionaires to the corruption in the Supreme Court, he contends that these are the seeds of the changes that are going to be taking place. Now, I'm pretty much in agreement with him. However, I remember back in the 80s when Reagan took over and the Republicans had an agenda that was pretty awful. And people were saying if they actually implement this agenda, it'll be a generation before the Republicans ever get back into office again if there is a legitimate election. Now, these guys are trying everything to make the election illegitimate. They're purging millions of people. I mean, in Wisconsin alone, as supposedly maintenance, 90,000 people were taken off the voter rolls with no proof other than they hadn't voted essentially since Biden was elected. That's the only reason, and they call it maintenance. You've got this outrageous gerrymandering demand from the president, and there's all kinds of other laws and rules that are designed to suppress the vote. But what'll happen if that does not work? And we've already got troops in the streets.
Right.
We've got ice age. I'm saying, beware, folks. Watch what leads up to November of this year, because I cannot see the maggots, and there are no Republicans anymore. I cannot see them holding on to majorities in either the House or the Senate, regardless of the so-called red states and red area gerrymandering, because they're just doing so crazy.
That's right.
At one time, the Republican Party had people with ethics in it. They've all been thrown out.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's gone. That's not a prerequisite anymore.
Yeah.
Just blind loyalty, and that's what it's all about. Jack, thanks for calling. We've got Wisco Paul on the line. What do you got for us, Paul?
Yeah, thanks. Excuse me. Thanks for taking my call. What wonderful callers you guys have, and a great show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Really helps me get through. Helps me get through the day sometimes here. I could talk a little bit about the 70s. I was drafted in 72, but right now I'm not going to get into that too much. It was a trying time. The only point I want to make here, I think this may be Trump's army, but their leader, Kristi Noem, I don't even know how she became a governor, but she shouldn't even be in charge of a light switch. And this is crazy. So, all right, you guys have a great day and keep up the good work.
Wisco Paul, in charge of a light switch.
Like that a lot. Do we have time for that Doc Rivers?
No.
Oh.
No, but I have something right here. Let's go to cut 206.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to
a new poll out today from YouGov and The Economist finds that nearly 70% of Americans have seen the video of Renee Nicole Good's death, and another 22% have heard about it. Another poll out today from Quinnipiac finds that as many as 82% of voters have seen the video, and those same polls also found that those who responded believe that the ICE officer was not justified in shooting Renee Nicole Good by an 18 to 20 point margin. YouGov finds that Americans think ICE actually makes Americans less safe, not more safe, by a 13-point margin. And Quinnipiac finds that voters disapprove of the way ICE is enforcing immigration laws by a 17-point margin.
Wow.
YouGov even found that 46% of Americans now support abolishing ICE entirely, as opposed to just 43% who oppose abolishing ICE. And that's the most support for abolishing ICE that any public poll has ever found since ICE was created back in 2003.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, the numbers tell it all.
The public has turned sour on this whole issue.
Yes, they have. We've got news, weather, sports straight ahead. In our next hour, we're going to talk to Emily Grunwald from the Overture Center about the legacy of Jerry Fauci. That's coming up. Also, Mike McCabe will join us a little bit later today. John and Gordy, stay right where you are.
And I watch while you load down to your deathbed. And I stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
People here in Dane County, and now you have more time to weigh in on potential changes. The Department of Transportation is working on plans to update traffic patterns on the Beltline. And we're not talking about small projects here. We're talking about big picture changes years from now. They're planning for the 20-mile stretch of the Beltline between Middleton and Cottage Grove. Some of their ideas include removing some traffic lights on Verona Road, which could ease congestion on the Beltline there. Staff from the Department of Transportation told the State Journal they've already gotten more comments than they usually would on proposals like this. Makes sense when so many people use the Beltline every day, and they want to give everybody time to weigh in. The public feedback period was supposed to end tomorrow, but now they've extended it, so you have until the end of the month to share your thoughts. We have a link to the feedback form on WMDXradio.com. Meanwhile, gas prices have risen more than 11 cents per gallon over the last week. Melissa Kay has our weekly check of prices at the pump.
The average across the state landing at $2.51 on Monday. This is 2.6 cents per gallon lower than a month ago and over 28 cents per gallon lower than this time last year. The national average saw little change over the last week, though Wisconsin was one of several price cycling states that experienced a notable jump. Officials at Gas Buddy say the good news is that after prices rise in these markets, they'll often fall for a week or longer afterwards. The situation in Venezuela, while dominating headlines, is too recent to show any measurable impact on what people are paying at the gas pump. Gas Buddy officials say it would likely take years to see a meaningful increase in oil output there. Gas prices remain seasonally lower, however, oil prices are inching higher.
That's Melissa Kay. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
Wisconsin wins in Minneapolis. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball. The Badgers beat the Gophers 78-75. Thanks to a three-point shot by John Blackwell at the buzzer. Head coach Greg Gard now with back-to-back victories on the road at Michigan and Minnesota.
Happy with the win. We need a day off
So we'll get some rest tomorrow and then last 2 days of the week to prep for Saturday.
The Badgers host Rutgers on Saturday. Marquette losing at St. John's 92-68. The Bucks bow to the Timberwolves 139-106 in Milwaukee. NFL. Quay Walker says the Packers seem to now have a reputation for losing at the end of big games.
Even before I got here, I feel like that's always been a part of this organization. When it comes down to big games, like finishing the games, whether you start out strong in the first half, it comes down to can you finish. Nobody cares what you did in the first half. It's also when the fourth quarter hit, double zeros, that hasn't been the case at all, honestly.
That's Packers linebacker Quay Walker with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Your neighbors are talking. Leaders are deciding. Madison's story unfolds daily on 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Skies will gradually turn mostly sunny as we head into the afternoon. A blustery north wind up around 35 miles per hour and highs in the lower 20s. Overnight, partly cloudy, near 10 above. Our wind chills down around 0. A little light snow Thursday. Right now, it's 19.
Civic Media Mornings.
Those are the rules. Those are the facts. DOJ policy clearly prohibits deadly force against a fleeing suspect when no weapon is present. In 2022, the Justice Department updated its use of force policy, making clear that officers may not fire at a moving vehicle. Every federal law enforcement agency, including ICE, adopted that policy.
That sounded like the summation at a trial. These are the rules. These are the facts.
6 to 8 on your local Civic Media station.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit.
Day by day.
Yeah. We're going to continue to talk about what's happening in Minneapolis. It is devastating. We talked to an individual yesterday from Minneapolis, and what a dark, dark picture he painted of that town.
Yes.
Wow.
And we're going to talk with him again at some point.
Steve, right?
Yeah, Steve, in the next few days.
All right.
Getting some texts in here. We were comparing the current mood of the country and the current atmosphere of edge everybody's on, violence, and worried about what's happening in the streets of the cities and elsewhere, and getting some comments here on the texts, and you can always text us on the Civic Media app. Larry saying, we may be just hours away from U.S. military action against Iran. Upon the request of the Danish government and Sweden, they've deployed troops to Greenland. More and more videos of ICE committing violence against U.S. citizens. It's back to the 60s. Or then he comments, it's worse than the 60s.
Yeah.
And they could be onto something there, Larry.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is pretty outrageous. And why don't we get to the cut that is, I guess, the nemesis of this show. I haven't been able to play it.
Which cut are we talking about?
Well, this is the coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, Doc Rivers. He made a comment. Normally, the coaches don't step out on all this stuff, but he decided to say something about what happened in Minneapolis with Renee Nicole Good. Let's listen to this cut.
You know, what happened in Minnesota was a straight-up murder, in my opinion, and it's awful. This lady was probably trying to go home, and she didn't make it home, and that's really sad. So the whole ICE thing is it's a travesty. You know, it's clearly, to me, we're attacking brown people, and I just happen to be brown, and I don't think it should just be brown people who are upset at this. I think we all have to be. I don't care what side of this thing you are on politically. What's going on in our country right now is absolutely wrong as far as the race stuff. The politics, I'm not going to get into. The race stuff, I will, and it's just wrong, and we have to do something. But the only thing we can do right now is keep speaking up, because it doesn't seem like they care. And that's troublesome. Last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to stay on this, but I could. I keep thinking about kids. And when I grew up, the president was always the role model. And I think about that and the effect of being a bully, lying. How is that good for our kids? And that worries me for our future. So.
All right.
Ken, that's Doc Rivers made that comment a couple of days ago.
Comments.
Yeah.
Strong comments.
Right. Yeah.
And I also got this. This is Florida Representative Max Frost.
Okay.
And he was out at a protest, and I guess this is what he said. His comments, 205.
And we must ensure that we use every tool in our toolbox, which includes voting no on the DHS appropriations bill. No more funding for terrorizing our communities. No more funding for killing our people. For so long, the right wing has held up patriotism as a vibe, as an aesthetic. But patriotism is more than bald eagle, flag, and beer. Patriotism is about loving the people who live in the damn country. Every single one of them. And if after an American citizen is murdered in the middle of a neighborhood after dropping off her kid at school, if you can't come to the mic, no matter your political party, no matter what you come for, and express just a shred of humanity, you are not a patriot. You do not love this country, and you do not love its people.
That's right. Wow,
that's pretty powerful.
Powerful stuff. Now
Yeah.
I have this as well, and I want to play this for you. It's a clip. ICE agent asking some random guy this particular question. It's cut 207. Let's listen to what he had to ask here.
Are you a U.S. citizen or you got naturalized? You're naturalized?
Do you hear that? Are you a U.S. citizen or you got naturalized? To be clear, a citizen of these United States is a citizen of these United States. There is no tiered citizenship depending on if you were born here or naturalized. That's the very promise of this country, certainly the core promise of the Constitution's 14th Amendment.
And I think the example of the guy at the gas station or the naturalized citizen was a great example. Like, what's the point? Like, what are they even doing? Who are they getting rid of? Like, it's literally just people off the street. Like, it's not as though this is being done because there is this cadre of murderers that's sitting in Minneapolis. It's being done because Donald Trump just wants to get rid of immigrants. And I think that is important to remember.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Are you an American?
Yeah, right.
We saw the movie Civil War.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Right.
And I want to play this question that was asked. This is the next question, by the way, that they're going to be asking us. Let's listen to cut 208.
What kind of American are you?
Florida.
Florida.
That's it. So what kind of American are you?
For those of you who haven't seen the movie, the next thing that happens is he shoots the guy and dumps his body in a bog.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
because
boy.
he was Asian. He was Chinese.
He didn't
right?
look like him.
Right. Which is just brutal. I mean, that part of the movie was. You saw this
yes,
one with us.
Difficult to, yeah, I know.
It was a tough movie to see.
It was difficult to watch.
Yeah.
It's only becoming more real, and it was already really real then.
Yes, there was a war between the coasts.
Basically,
because
yeah.
of a president just like Trump. If you missed that movie, you really should go out and see it and rent it or find some way to get it. Civil War.
Let's head to Milwaukee. Charles has been waiting on the line here. Good afternoon, Charles. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, this is sickening. they went on this whole premise of we're gonna get the criminals out of the country. They're not. I saw a clip of a DoorDash worker in Minneapolis that they rode up on her and her husband. She went to the door, they got her husband, and she ran inside of this woman's home, and they surrounded the house, ICE did, saying that you guys need to send her out. We have a warrant, and they didn't have a warrant, and I'm glad the young lady of the house called the cops, and the cops were telling her, well, you should hand her over. And so they were getting ready to hand this woman over. And thank God the people in the community start hearing the commotion, and they started coming out, videotaping, making noise. And the young lady at the house found her courage and said, no, you guys need to get off my blank land. This is my property. I own this. Where's the warrant? And after about 5 or 10 minutes, they finally left. But I don't understand. I don't understand the right-wing people that are okay with them snatching people out of cars, breaking car windows. I mean, they went into a high school. Where are the criminals in the high school? Right. These are students that are trying to learn. But their thing is, if we go in there and we take the kids, then the parents will have to come and get the kids, and then we'll snatch up the parents then. And then they hide behind the Bible. They talk about they're Christians. They wear their crosses on TV, and they're all hateful people. I'm just hoping that people are prepared to really make sure that their voting registration is up to date. I think people starting in probably August need to be checking every other week, because they're going to do everything they can. Trump sees the writing on the wall. He knows that they're going to lose the midterms.
Right, and that he might be impeached.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to go after the voting rolls, that's for sure. They're already doing that. Yeah, it seems. Charles, thank you for that call.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We've got some more calls coming in.
I've got another cut here. I want to see what Tom Tiffany had to say about all of this. You know, he's trying to relate Wisconsin somehow to Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to bring it all together for us. This guy gets it so wrong. He makes so many mistakes in this. And in fact, he even misread something and tried to reread it, but it didn't come out right. And I'll tell you what, this is what he released as an ad for his campaign to be governor.
Really?
It is that bad, and I've got to play it for you. It's let's listen to cut 210, and listen to what Tom Tiffany tried to say. This is a word salad nightmare.
Okay.
Let's listen.
All right.
This fraud cannot continue, and we cannot continue to have these people with long rap sheets that are just running around the Twin Cities of Minnesota. And by the way, it matters, because just 15 miles away, sometimes they cross the border, and we've seen a police officer killed by someone from Minnesota after a high-speed chase. So we see these type of things, and it spills out around the rest of the country. But this is not new. This has been going on for a long time. And I would urge all of you that averted your eyes to what has been going on in Minneapolis and Minnesota generally. I would urge you to go back and look at what has just been a trail of fraud that has been going on for far longer than just the last year.
There you go.
It's Tom Tiffany.
It's a ridiculous message. Trying to relate it somehow and be relevant. Tom, you're wrong. You're just... Well, I just can't believe the people that are running for governor on the right side of the aisle, too, and they're just so incompetent. They have such horrible, nightmarish messages. You know, Tom Tiffany wants to turn over all of our food stamp information over to the government, right?
Oh, great.
He wants to make sure that they get all of our voting information over to the federal government.
Sure.
This guy is ready to give us all up, folks.
Okay. Let's go back to the phones. Let's try to squeeze this call in from Jennifer, calling from Cassville. Jennifer, got a minute or so here. Go ahead.
Good.
Thank you.
The reason I called in is because, yeah, racism is an underlying factor. But here's the thing. Trump can't get people to riot, so he can't declare martial law. And he's going to do whatever he can do to get us so mad that we don't want to take it anymore.
Yeah, right.
And then he will declare martial law, and you will never see another election as long as we live.
Well, that's the fear, isn't it?
How do we get past that? How do we get past that conundrum?
Yeah.
That's my comment.
All right. Well, thank you, Jennifer.
Got to keep the protests peaceful, but you're right. He's trying to stoke it so it breaks out into violence, and then he can do just that kind of thing, declare martial law.
Like the megas have been saying.
Put off voting.
That's why we have the firearms, right? To protect ourselves from a tyrannical government.
19 minutes past the hour. Coming up right after this short break, we'll talk to Emily Grunwald from the Overture Center about the legacy of Jerry Fauci. It's coming up next on John and Gordy.
Down, down, down. If it takes them to tear the fascists down.
92.7 WMDX, Madison, living side by side with Sandhill Cranes.
Gamers, this is your weekly call to action. Monday, Pokemon. Tuesday and Wednesday, Warhammer. Thursday, One Piece. Friday, Magic the Gathering. Saturday, Dungeons & Dragons and Commander. Pick your night and come play. Guild Pack Games, made by gamers, for gamers.
I'm hungry. What's cooking?
Oh, no, not me. It's your turn.
Oh, we're back to taking turns?
Yes.
Well, how about Sugar River Pizza?
Oh, yeah, now they can cook.
I could really go for some of that 12-hour smoked pulled pork.
Ooh, and some pasta. Okay, now I'm hungry. Sugar River, here we come.
And they have that great kids menu, too.
We don't have any kids.
Right. That's beside the point. The point is, I'm hungry, you're hungry.
Let's go.
Yes. And we should talk about having some kids.
Get in the car, Bob. Sugar River, Sun Prairie, Verona, New Glarus, and catering.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect.
800-217-9129. 800-217-9129. 800-217-9129.
Pete Schwaba.
Aaron, did you put a Christmas tree up this year?
A really little one.
Mine is still up and it's depressing. I went through a period where I would keep it up through most of January, kind of in protest of winter. Like I wanted it to still seem like the holidays.
At my parents' house, it was always an ordeal. And so we would just leave it up and put off taking all that back down.
And you just got to make a clean break. It's like a breakup. Get it over with. Don't drag it out. Don't try to remain friends with Christmas. Take the stuff down.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 5 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Civic Media Mornings.
A Wisconsin bill that would require 60 minutes of recess for kindergarten through 6th grade students.
We're talking with Shannon Wysocki, who is the co-leader of Say Yes to Recess.
When we're expecting kids to sit in classrooms for 90 minutes to 2 hours, we're actually wasting that academic time already. I look at it as that extra time that people are worried about. We should shave off some of that and use that towards the recess.
John and Gordy in the afternoon, and we're going to talk to Emily Greenwald now from the Overture Center right across the street from our Madison studios here. And Emily, good to have you with us this afternoon. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now we invited you over to talk about Jerry Fauci, who was an amazing person. And he just died recently. He was a major donor to the Overture Center. Can you talk about what he meant to the people at the Overture Center and to the community?
Jerry
has been a tremendous angel in our lives from the very beginning. I think if people remember the story, he originally stepped up, I think, with the first gift of maybe $10 million to build a performing arts center that grew to $50 million. That as the design and vision started to take shape, wound up to be $205 million to create Overture Center for the Arts. And that still stands as the largest singular gift to the arts in U.S. history. We're so fortunate to have someone who has that capacity and that generosity to step forward and do that for our community.
Well, it was so debated, and, just to build one. And when he stepped in, that was it. That turned everybody's minds toward that, that particular project, and it was just a wonderful gift.
It was, and it was a gift that was really looking towards the future. We had outgrown resident companies and, really the performances that were taking place at Madison Civic Center had outgrown that building, and acoustically, it wasn't really serving the performances. And there was a lot of speculation of whether or not Madison could support a performing arts center of that size. And on the cusp of the 20th anniversary, Jerry had shared with us how much it meant to him to see his dream realized tenfold, that it was much bigger than what he ever envisioned it could be. And now to host over 700 events a year, serve over 500,000 people, and still maintain about 35% of our arts programming through free and low-cost education engagement programming. Accessibility was always at his core, and that we continue to maintain and grow that mission is our greatest honor.
Now, he was 94 when he passed away last Friday, and he had made not only to the Overture Center, but he had done a lot of other contributions to the Madison area. Can you talk about some of that?
Sure. I mean, I think when you look at his support throughout the community, he was very much committed to conservation and parks. Some of his most recent activities were to ensure that parks were accessible for children with disabilities. There's education. Education was always a huge piece, especially with his recent gift to Madison College. The Madison Youth Arts Center, WISO's building. I mean, his fingerprints are on so much.
Almost so much in the area.
So much. But also, his name is not on a lot of those things. I think there's only one thing that has his name attached to it.
I remember seeing that. What is that? Do you remember?
I don't want to speak quite out of turn. I know it is a visitor center, I think, on Picnic Point. And I apologize, I don't remember the name of the organization, but I think that's even built out of his family history here in Madison versus his personal legacy.
Now, you knew him a little bit, right?
A little bit.
So talk about this. I mean, he makes all these contributions, but what did he ask for in return from the Overture Center? Because this is amazing to me.
As you notice, it's not called the Frautschi Center for the Arts. He was really adamant that it couldn't have his name on it or anyone else's name on it because it was a gift to the community, and he felt once names were in places that it took away from that welcoming atmosphere. But there was one thing that he wanted, and that was a parking space. And so I think we all...
Well, parking is tough in Madison.
We have a problem with parking in Madison.
Especially on a busy show night. We know that there are lines. So he had a remote control to open up the loading dock door, and then he parked in the loading dock, just where the Bud Light and the shows unload. And so he had a dedicated parking spot. And of course, that's also Pleasant's parking spot. It's not going anywhere.
Pleasant Roland, his widow now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah, terrific. And so he made all these contributions to Madison and to the Overture Center, and now going forward, how's the center doing? I mean, as far as donations and fundraising and
Yeah, we had embarked on an Overture Forever campaign about 2 years ago, and Jerry had supported that as well. He had made a monumental $10 million gift towards that effort. Again, I mean, the generosity is just
crazy.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on closing out that campaign of meeting our $30 million goal, and we're really proud that thus far almost 2,000 people have contributed to that effort. And again, I was really hoping to do that to show Jerry, and in gratitude for all that he's given to us in Overture Center, to let him know that we have that support moving forward for future generations.
That's great stuff.
Amazing contributions that he made, not only to the Overture Center, but to the city of Madison. And Emily Greenwald, thank you for coming in and telling us about it and talking about this. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Very good. We're going to take a little time out here for the Midwest Food and Farm Report. We're coming back with more of John and Gordy after this.
More lakes, more bikes, lively politics, and WMDX. Local news, real voices, and conversations that count. That's Madison. And that's 92.7 WMDX.
There have been a lot of new policies going into place, and many of them affect agriculture, including the recent ban on foreign-made drones. From the Rural Mutual Insurance News Desk, I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report. And Jeremy Williams, the owner of American Drone, is here to give a look at why the government felt the need to ban these drones.
In essence, what is happening is the current administration is trying to push for more American manufacturing of, designing and building these drones in the United States, which is great. It's a great effort. But the problem is that currently there are no application drones manufactured in the United States. And we're kind of far behind in this country based on foreign drones.
Jeremy also says that this ban does not affect any of the older models of drones. It only bans the new models from entering the country. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo, and we'll see how the markets are moving on the close this Wednesday, right after this.
Did you know you can leverage crop insurance to benefit your bottom line? Ag Country Farm Credit Services can help. Choosing the right coverage for your goals can help maximize margins, strengthen your marketing strategy, and build a more resilient operation overall. As you plan for the season ahead, focus on more than just managing risk. Call 800-450-9858 to speak with one of our dedicated crop insurance officers. This institution is an equal opportunity provider and employer.
Did you know soybean diseases like white mold and sudden death syndrome can survive in your soil even after rotating crops? Prevention of these diseases is a constant battle, and yield loss from an infection can be devastating. The right management plan makes all the difference. Keep your beans safe this spring with Heads Up seed treatment. Heads Up guards your seed from both white mold and SDS. Stay protected and profitable by asking your seed dealer for Heads Up. Learn more at headsupst.com.
Welcome back to the Rural Mutual Insurance News Desk, everybody. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report along with you. Now let's see how the markets look on the close. A slight mix on the close with cash corn up 2 1/4 at $4.22 and new crop corn up 2 cents at $4.47 3/4. Cash soybeans are up 3 3/4 at $10.42 1/2 with new crop soybeans down 1/4 penny at $10.58. March wheat is up 2 cents at $5.12 1/2 with July wheat up 1 3/4 at $5.36 1/4. Class 3 milk is seeing small losses with February contracts down 2 cents at $14.88 a hundredweight and March contracts down 7 cents at $15.03 a hundredweight. 40-pound blocks of cheese had no change at $128 1/2 and butter closed up 3/4 at $130 3/4. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo.
Construction barrels bloom every spring. So do opinions. WMDX, guiding Madison through life's most predictable surprises.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Skies will gradually turn mostly sunny as we head into the afternoon. A blustering north wind up around 35 miles per hour and highs in the lower 20s. Overnight, partly cloudy, near 10 above. Our wind chills down around 0. A little light snow Thursday. It's 21 at our studios.
Listen to the Civic Media exclusive podcast, Busted Pencils.
Our guest, Dr. Jonathan Gerko. Johnny, jump in there.
I think there was very little radical about Mamdani. Free buses, for example. I ride the bus. Very few people actually pay the fare today. And you're riding the bus to work or to go to school or to spend your money in a different part of town. Hardly a radical public service.
Subscribe to Busted Pencils wherever you listen to podcasts.
You're a storyteller, negotiator, artist, innovator. Whatever your passion, whatever your skills, behind the scenes or in front, you belong here. A career in broadcast media. Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent.
I was just going to say that. I want to mention.
I'm finishing your sentences now.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You're like Kreskin over here.
Turns out this is one of the biggest things happening in the country, and a lot of people are thinking about it.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
Absolutely. But let's take a moment here to try to give away some more tickets to the All-American Rejects. They're coming to the Wisconsin State Fair Thursday, August 13th. This show is way off, but the tickets go on sale Friday. But we've got tickets before that. You can go to, though, on Friday, you can go to wistatefair.com after 10 a.m. and buy tickets, but you've got a chance to win them right now. I'll give you the keyword. The keyword is secret. Now, what you do with that keyword, S-E-C-R-E-T, is you text it to us on the Civic Media app. It's free to download, free to use. Just go to that app, click on your local Civic Media station, and send that keyword in before 6 p.m., and you'll have a chance to win that pair of tickets to see the All-American Rejects at the Wisconsin State Fair Thursday, August 13th. Again, tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at wistatefair.com. Okay. Over to you, John.
Yeah. We had a text here, which is...
Got a bunch of texts.
Now it's just moving all over the place because you just got everybody to text us.
Yes, I know.
Here it is. House of Dynamite. Steve mentioned this from Milwaukee. House of Dynamite is about a missile headed for the U.S.
He said,
check it out. Now, we were talking about Civil War and one battle after another.
Right.
This is another one of those movies where a missile is headed toward the U.S.
Oh, my.
And not one thing we could do to knock it out of the sky happened. We couldn't get rid of it. We couldn't stop it. I believe the target was Chicago.
Oh, my.
The end of that movie is something else, and I'm not going to give it away, but...
well, it's not good, huh?
Well...
Or is it... keep us on the edge of our chair.
Yeah,
now you got to give it
away.
away.
Chair. Well, I could sit here and
don't
give away
it away
the end, but
no,
the end is so stunning that you won't forget it.
Okay.
And that doesn't give anything away.
The House of Dynamite.
House of Dynamite.
That's the name of the movie. Is that a current movie? I mean, when did that come out? A long time ago?
No, it just came out recently.
Okay.
Within the last 5-6 months.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to what the ICE officers are now saying to the protesters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but learning their lesson. All right. Now, this is a clip from Pod Save America. This is John Lovett. And he was talking about this particular comment from an ICE officer. So let's listen to this 211. All right.
Good morning. This is your warning.
For what?
Stop f***ing following us. You are impeding operations. This is the United States federal
government. I live over here. I got to get to my house.
This is your warning.
Got to get to my house.
Go home to your kids.
Go to church.
Go to home to your kids. This is your last warning.
I serve the Lord.
I will arrest you.
Let the
I guarantee
people.
you that. I guarantee you're not going to like the outcome. Go home to your children. It's Sunday.
Yeah, go exactly. Let people go to church.
You did not learn from what just happened? Go home to
learn
your kids.
What?
He says, did you not learn from what just happened? And
it's the second video I've seen where someone says, didn't you learn from what happened?
Did you learn from what happened? And then the person who's being told, learn what? If I don't listen to you and stop exercising my First Amendment rights, my right to just be a person in my own community, you're going to kill me? That's the lesson. And if you see this person is being told, go home to your children, stop following us. Now they're starting to claim that just following them to observe them is impeding. They're claiming that's now a violation of law. There's a person with a gun drawn on the other side of the car. Why is the gun out? And the other part of this is what you're seeing more and more too is the agents are all filming. They don't have body cams, or they're claiming they don't use the body cams. Some of them may, some of them not, I don't know. But they're not releasing body cam footage, but they are filming. And so now you have a bunch of agents that are now all going to have their phones in one hand and their guns in the other, presumably, right? Because instead of having body cams that will record everything objectively to release, they will release subjectively whatever they fucking want from the phones. We also have no idea what they're using for facial recognition and all those other things. They're now saying, learn the lesson of what happened, which is if you don't, follow an unlawful order, if you seem at all like you're annoying us, who knows what could happen?
All right.
Boy.
That is from Pod Save America. John Lovett making comment about what an ICE officer said to another protester. And it's getting this bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't you learn your lesson?
Yeah,
Didn't
really?
you learn anything from a few days ago?
Known.
Just an amazing thing.
Stay away.
It really is. There's a video from Status Quo News. John Farina shows ICE agents throwing gas from their car windows as protesters before driving off at the protesters. They weren't doing anything. They were just hanging out, And as they were driving off, gas canister right out the window.
I don't think I've ever seen that from police or another force disrupting a protest.
Law enforcement, yeah.
Normally, they stay there because the goal is to disperse the people, and so they have to stay till the people are gone.
Right.
Not just throw gas at them and run away.
Yeah. Well, I think they were done, and people were milling about, and one last canister. What the hell, right?
Sure. Wow.
ICE agents in Minneapolis are seen arresting another teenager without verifying his identity first and admit to it on camera. In the video, the teenager calmly tells agents he can go inside and get his ID to prove who he is, but the agents then refused. Instead, they said, we'll take you down to headquarters.
Okay.
They took a kid off to headquarters and then forced him into the SUU anyway. Law enforcement is not allowed to detain people first and then figure out who they are later without lawful justification. But, the rules and regulations don't seem to matter to these individuals or to Trump.
They're right out the window with those.
Yeah.
They don't care. Yeah.
Boy, I don't know.
All right, phone lines are open, 855-752-4842. You can call us right now and or send us a message on the Civic Media app.
I got one more thing, and this is a big surprise. Police officers protecting an ICE detainee. This is something you really haven't heard about yet, but I have a cut of this. Let's listen to this. This is 214.
This might be the craziest thing we've ever seen. This is two police officers protecting somebody that's about to be detained by ICE. Check this out.
You're in private property. Get out of here. Get out. You're going to arrest me.
Now, the one thing that we are definitely learning from this is that ICE is not actually above the police. These two police officers would be impeding their investigation and the arrest and the deportation of an illegal immigrant. You could see they're backing up. They know that they have no power over these police officers, and this is something I feel like we have not seen so far. Police officers stepping up in defense of people being deported and detained by ICE. This may be the first steps to a better situation than we are currently seeing.
Well, let's hope anyway, right?
Yeah. Wow.
How about ICE Commander Gregory Bovino? He's been out in Chicago. You know, that's where he made his name.
Okay.
Gregory Bovino.
Right. Yeah.
And he is saying now that ICE agents are de-escalating situations in Minneapolis.
Oh, really?
Yes. Listen to this amazing CBS morning coverage of an interview. Let's listen.
Immigration raids escalated across the Twin Cities Sunday, including at a St. Paul gas station where federal agents dragged a man from his car, then tackled a bystander who was filming. We were there as federal agents deployed pepper balls and tear gas against protesters outside an ICE facility.
You stay out of the road.
Led by Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino.
What do you say to Americans, including police chiefs, that say if there is no de-escalation in sight, it's not a matter of if, but when this happens again?
Well, we've already said that, Nicole. The de-escalation and a lot of those police chiefs that you mentioned don't seem to de-escalate. They seem to escalate.
Are you de-escalating?
Absolutely. Every day we de-escalate.
We watched as you confronted protesters right there. It didn't look like de-escalation, but are you trying to send a message?
The agitators and the rioters here in Minneapolis need to understand that our operations will continue unabated despite the violence they perpetrate against law enforcement.
Wow.
Okay.
I love the question. You know, that was a good question. It doesn't look like you're de-escalating anything here.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, he was accusing all these people of being agitators, right?
Sure.
Well, who are the real agitators? And by the way, are they paid as well?
Yeah.
Well, for your information, the government is paying influencers $8 million to push pro-ICE propaganda online.
What?
Yeah. Now, they say that the protesters are being paid, right? Well, you know, there's a little projection there, I guess, because they're paying influencers to go out there and say nice things about pro-ICE things, like paid professional outside agitators. Listen to this is it. This is the headline right here.
Okay.
ICE is spending $8 million on deals with pro-ICE influencers to push its propaganda online, according to an internal document obtained by the Washington Post. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is carving out $8 million from its $100 million one-year wartime recruitment strategy on deals with pro-ICE influencers. The objective, according to the document, is to build trust through the authentic peer-to-peer messaging and to normalize and humanize careers at ICE through storytelling and lived experiences.
Storytelling.
Yes. They're trying to humanize all of this. That's in the document. The documentation says it expects more than 5,000 recruits in regards to this. This is another, $8 million.
So these are pro-ICE influencers.
Yes.
So I'm imagining this is all online or some of it on foot. I mean, what are they talking about when they say influencers?
These are online.
These are online, right?
Yep. These
so
are media
$8 million
sources.
divided by 5,000.
And these are the people that we see cluttering up our social media.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where they're going to find real lived experiences that are positive of ICE, because everything that I have seen or heard, I mean, you know, well, that's whatever the algorithm wants to give to me. I'll say that, you know, it is anecdotal. But I have not seen anybody who lives in Minneapolis or is there react positively to this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have to say that you have to normalize and humanize these careers, you've got a real problem. Or if you also say that we got to build trust.
Well, and what kind of storytelling are they going to do?
Well, yeah, what storytelling?
Sit down,
Around the
kids.
campfire.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you a little story.
Of course, you'll be cuffed
Yeah.
and hauled away if you don't listen.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
It's crazy time in America.
It is really crazy time, and there's no excuse for any of this. So, here, I've got another story from Minneapolis. ICE detained a citizen teacher at a special education school.
Really?
Deployed tear gas, dropped a student there. One witness yelled, they broke her window. They pulled her out of the car. They have tear gas around children. Agents crashed their car and blamed the teacher for ramming him instead of them ramming her. And it goes on.
Where was that?
That was in Minneapolis.
Oh,
yeah.
Again. Wow.
Yes.
All right.
She was turning into the school so she could teach these kids.
Oh. It's just going crazy. Crazier every day.
It is.
All right, we're coming back with more of John and Gordy, and right around the corner, we'll get Mike McCabe in here in our 4 o'clock hour. Stay with us.
77 square miles surrounded by reality, and we cover all of it. This is 92.7 WMDX Madison and on the Civic Media app.
Herbal Aspect has landed. That's right, Madison's go-to cannabis destination now has a brand new location in Sun Prairie.
Wait, 4 locations? That's a high level of convenience.
With 3 Madison locations and now Sun Prairie, a great cannabis experience is always close by. Our expert staff is here to help, whether you walk in, call, or order online. Mention Radio 420 and get a special discount. So stop by Herbal Aspect in Sun Prairie, because great cannabis isn't just a pipe dream.
Nice. I'm rolling over now.
Herbal Aspect.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Today's job market is full of demand for skilled trade workers. Electricians, welders, mechanics, these and other trades are the backbone of every community. They're also a huge part in making sure the Army National Guard is always fulfilling its mission of service to our country and communities. Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. The skilled trades these soldiers perform are the same ones needed in today's civilian workforce. Army National Guard soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home, with companies looking to hire the best. With options from plumber to helicopter mechanic and everything in between, soldiers are able to select the trades that best fit their lives. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession and serve your community and country by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Where working people come to talk. It's The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network. Join me for an honest approach to the issues American working families care about. No talking points, no focus groups. Get ready for a heavy dose of democracy, fairness, grit, and no apologies. It's current affairs from a working class labor perspective. Facts are center, science is real, and everyone gets a seat at the table. The Rick Smith Show, weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Join me, Tom Harmon.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. Look out.
a classic, huh?
Flashing back today.
Yeah.
Late 60s, early 70s, comparing it to what's happening today all across the country, but especially up in Minneapolis right now. 855-752-4842. Coming up in our next hour, Mike McCabe will join us.
And give us a call if you have some opinions about this, some input.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the person doing the hardest work of ever.
Who's that?
Jessica Tarlov. You know, she's always on that panel on Fox News, convincing them, I'm sure they're not at least being swayed by anything she's saying, but trying to convince them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those instances where she's talking about what's going on in Minneapolis and a few other items to listen to. So she's got it all here. Let's listen.
Well, it definitely has very dangerous consequences. So it's an R-rated movie, if that's the analogy that you're going with. But I think that talking about the thousands of people that have been out protesting across the country as all, blue-haired wine mom kooks is completely misguided and makes you look a little bit blind. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the people who are standing outside of Somali-owned businesses, for instance, or if you listen to Jesse Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, talking about the Trump administration trampling on the Constitution and that the way that ICE is enforcing the law is completely unacceptable and that it's un-American. If you listen to Joe Rogan talking about what all of us with eyes and ears can see and hear, you cannot conclude that this is just about, a bunch of people who are radicalized online so they can be part of this group and quote unquote feel the energy. The media talking about it is not the problem. Americans are seeing these videos. They're seeing one of the images that we just showed, a woman being pulled out of her car. She was on her way to a doctor's appointment. 82% of Americans have seen Officer Ross's video of what happened with Renee Good there, and 53% think that he should face criminal charges. On top of it, the fact that the administration is so blindly defending this officer and has absolutely no interest in finding out what happened on his side of things is mind-blowing to me. So the FBI has enough time to investigate Renee Good's, her ties, right? Her activist ties. But there's no investigation into Officer Ross. And 6 prosecutors just resigned from the Minnesota office saying we normally would investigate any law enforcement officer that kills somebody, but that isn't what's happening right now. And maybe that is what will change. But it's the criminal section of the Civil Rights Division would be doing this. And 6 prosecutors have quit because that is not what has happened up until this point. If that all changes, then we will talk about it again. But at this point, we have a story that Renee Good is a domestic terrorist and Officer Ross is allowed to do whatever he wants. And all of these ICE agents, if you can't see that there are people behaving badly here, that they are using tear gas on them, that they were pulling people out of their cars, pulling kids out of their jobs at Target.
You create the environment and then you complain about the consequences.
What?
When you kick over a beehive, don't complain when the bees come after you.
Don't say that every single one of
when
those
you poke
people
a bear,
is not,
don't say, I can't believe the bear's chasing me.
You have a right to stand there and yell at
That's not what we were talking about.
The bear, the beehive, right?
Yeah.
They're bringing it to these areas.
Right.
And that's what this whole problem is about.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that's Jessica Tarlov on Fox News. There's just got to be a way that we can put an end to ICE. There were a lot of talk about that during the Biden administration.
Right.
Ending ICE because it was just, it had gone too far. Even back then, it had gone too far. They told ICE agents to stand in front of cars to give them an excuse to use firearms.
Yeah.
That's not good. So we wanted to kind of get rid of ICE, and now we have promises from a lot of Democrats running for Congress to get rid of ICE, defund it completely.
Yeah, cut off the funding.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones up to Appleton. Cindy is on the line. Go ahead, Cindy.
Well, I heard a couple of good ones today. First one is the GOP stands for Gestapo on parole.
Okay.
That is a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, this isn't a good one, but now they're saying that officer, and I don't even like to mention his name, that got supposedly run over by Renee Good, is now got internal bleeding. I'm like, come on. Give me a flippin' break.
Right.
You don't have internal bleeding for that many days and not suffer something very severe or probably die. So this is just another one of these lying, hoaxy, crapping things that the stupid administration's coming up with.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. I know, and it could be from a previous injury. Remember, he was dragged by a car because he was trying to get into the passenger side window in the back. So that wasn't one of the most brilliant moves ever. But yeah, I got it. Let's go.
Cindy, thank you for that call. Let's see. Coming up right around the corner, we'll be talking with Mike McCabe. He's got a new Substack article coming up.
Yeah.
And want to remind you that you can win tickets, again, to the All-American Rejects, which is a band that's going to be at the Wisconsin State Fair Thursday, August 13th. Tickets go on sale this coming Friday, 10 a.m. at wistatefair.com. But we've got a chance for you to win tickets. In fact, you can get in on this right now, and we'll select a winner later in the day, and we'll notify you if you are the winner. We're giving out new keywords every day this week and through Friday. The keyword this time around is secret, S-E-C-R-E-T. So get that to us before 6 o'clock. All you have to do that is download the free Civic Media app, click on your local station on the network, and use the text button at the bottom to send that keyword secret to us before 6 o'clock. Again, the All-American Rejects at the Wisconsin State Fair Thursday, August 13th. Tickets on sale Friday, 10 a.m. at wistatefair.com. Okay. News, sports, weather updates straight ahead. Then we're back with Mike McCabe in the studio. John and Gordy. Stay right here.
This is 92.7 WMDX Columbus, Madison's real news and great conversation. A Civic Media station. WMDXradio.com.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After a key meeting between top Trump officials and Denmark and Greenland leaders over the U.S. demands to acquire Greenland, Denmark's foreign minister says they'll try to form a working group to address U.S. security concerns, but nothing more. Here's ABC's Selena Wang.
The Trump administration continues to press their case as the president has threatened this use of military force, but we have heard from Secretary of State Marco Rubio turning down the temperature a bit, saying that the intention from the president is to acquire Greenland. But again, Greenland officials, Danish officials making it clear it's not for sale. Unclear if U.S. officials in this meeting are going to float some kind of acquisition proposition.
Verizon says it continues to work on fixing an outage that impacted 175,000 customers across the country today. Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the belief is that the outage is a technical issue and not the result of a cyber attack. After an investigation on Wall Street, stocks ended sharply lower today. This is ABC News.
From the Capitol to your kitchen table, Madison's biggest stories live right here on 92.7 WMDX.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. For years now, the Bad River Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and environmental advocates have been pushing back against the relocation of a Canadian oil pipeline. Maddie Schaefer has the latest from the Northwoods.
Enbridge wants to reroute its Line 5 pipeline around the band's reservation in northern Wisconsin. The Army Corps signed off on the permit in October. The Bad River Band is represented by Earth Justice, a nonprofit environmental advocacy group which filed a federal lawsuit last month. The lawsuit claims the Corps failed to follow federal environmental laws in issuing the permit. Gussie Lord is managing attorney for Earth Justice's Tribal Partnerships program and lead attorney for the case.
The concern is about the threat to the band's watershed, to the Lake Superior watershed. The reroute would cross, I think, 185 waterways, streams, and rivers, and it would impact over 100 acres of wetlands.
Lord adds that the wetlands and waterways affected are critical to the band's hunting, fishing, and wild rice practices, and to the health of the Lake Superior watershed. The reroute comes after a separate legal battle. In 2013, several easements allowing Line 5 to cross the band's land expired. The band chose not to renew those easements, largely because of Enbridge's history of oil spills. The band itself filed a federal lawsuit against Enbridge in 2019, claiming the company was operating the pipeline without valid easements. In 2023, a federal judge ruled Enbridge was trespassing and ordered the company to shut down or remove that segment of the pipeline by June 2026. That decision is now under appeal. Earth Justice also represents the band in a separate lawsuit against the state filed last year, which challenges permits the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources issued for the reroute. The case is still pending.
That's Maddie Schaefer. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
The Badgers win at the buzzer. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's basketball, Wisconsin over Minnesota, 78-75 in Minneapolis. The Badgers' John Blackwell with a three-point shot at the buzzer for the win.
I just went to my go-to move, Hezzy 3. And honestly, it looked good when it came off the hands. And I held it up and then, give Glad all the glory for letting me go in.
Up next, the Badgers host Rutgers Saturday at 1 o'clock. Marquette losing on the road to St. John's 92-68. The Bucks blown out at home 139-106 by the Timberwolves.
No excuses. We just didn't have it. We were flat. I thought our guys tried at the beginning of the third quarter to fight back a little bit, but when you dig yourself that big of a hole, every basket, every turnover, anything hurts. So I actually probably should have pulled the plug earlier because I just thought we were flat. I didn't think we had anything tonight.
That's Bucks head coach Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Parallel parking in Madison? Impossible. Finding real conversation on the radio? Probable. With 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Skies will gradually turn mostly sunny as we head into the afternoon. A blustery north wind up around 35 miles per hour and highs in the lower 20s. Overnight, partly cloudy, near 10 above. Our wind chills down around 0. A little light snow Thursday. It's 21 at our studios.
This is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. On our show, we talk about Native issues like treaties, protecting Mother Earth, and holding our elected officials accountable. You'll also hear from Turtle Island voices like Arvina Martin, State Representative Heather Keeler, Ruth Anna Buffalo, Dr. Anthony Stately, State Senator Mary Kunish, Robert Lilligren, and Bob Blake. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Native Roots Radio, weeknights at 8 on your local Civic Media radio station.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Tom Hartman here. Democracy is not a spectator sport, so join me each and every weekday right here on Civic Media for the Tom Hartman program from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Covering the news of the day and sharing ways for you to get off the sidelines and get active in your community, because change starts with you. Get involved and tune in to the Tom Hartman program Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on your local Civic Media radio station.
And joining us is Mike McCabe, Substack blogger and author. Good to have you with us, Mike.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah. What's on your mind? What's new? What should we talk about? Is there anything to talk? Anything going on in the news?
Going on at all that you can make comment about?
Yeah. Well, go pick whatever you want that's making our heads explode these days.
There's a lot.
Oh,
a lot
my
to choose
God.
from.
Well, let's go back.
These
in
days
time.
are a lot.
Yeah.
It's
every
exhausting
day.
for just about everybody.
Yeah.
You know? This is way too much information.
The fire hose of news never stops. It's 24/7. It's just getting inundated every minute of the day.
You know, we can always sit back and relax when the Democrats in charge, you know.
It seems like
Why is it so different? What is happening? We have a micromanager as a president. You know, this guy wants his hands in everything, his name on everything, right?
Well, but he also wants us not to pay attention to the mammoth problems that this country needs to solve. Right. He wants to, he doesn't want us thinking about a lot of the real emergencies that face our country and this world, because he doesn't have any answers for those things. And so he doesn't want us thinking about that. And so I really struggle to know sometimes how many of these actions are genuinely trying to accomplish some aim, and how much they're just distractions from a lot of the other really serious issues that we need to solve, problems that we need to solve in this country. And I think a lot of his appeal has to do with the fact that there are enough people in this country who just don't want to think about those mammoth problems. They don't want to think about what's coming, that are really mammoth challenges that we need to sort through and get our arms around. But it's just easier to blame somebody else or to just ignore it. And what's being done, so much of it, I think, is just distraction. But of course, it's distraction at the expense of human life. It's distraction at an enormous cost to some of the most vulnerable people in our society. So there's real cruelty being perpetrated on people who don't deserve that. But a lot of it just seems like it's all distraction so that people don't pay attention to the economic uncertainty that's around us, or to the climate crisis, or to
healthcare,
child care, the unaffordability of housing. There's so many big things around us that we need to come to terms with in our country, and instead we're told, just blame some brown people over there in Minnesota.
Right. You know, a lot of times, even when Scott Walker was governor, he would pass an agenda that the Republicans put in place, their platform. It wouldn't solve any problems, any festering problems the state was going through. They just put their platform in place. Now we're seeing that happen again, this time with Project 2025. So they're putting all of these things in place, no matter what happens in society, no matter how it shocks our senses. They're just following through with their plan, regardless of what happens, the repercussions from putting those plans in place. I think that's what's happening here, and we're all kind of stunned at this point.
Overwhelmed.
Deer in headlights.
And people, I think a lot of people do feel overwhelmed, and they're spooked by some things. I mean, AI has got people really spooked, and you see the pushback against these massive data centers that are going in. And I wrote about that a little bit in my latest piece for Substack. And you know, AI is being rolled out in a way that plainly is beneficial to a few billionaires, but there is an awful lot of working people who are thinking, what's in this for me? How do I benefit from this at all? Because what it looks like is your intention is just to automate my employment out of existence. And so there's this tremendous anxiety, and of course the ruling regime doesn't want people to focus on that anxiety. They want it to go forward unencumbered so that the billionaires become trillionaires. But people are feeling incredible anxiety about that, among the many other things that are impeding their progress toward realizing the American dream. They can't afford housing. They can't afford child care. They can't get decent health care. There's an awful lot of things that have gone haywire that people are frustrated about. And so, as politicians so often do, they find a scapegoat. And it's like, it's those brown people in Minnesota. We got to crack down. And we gotta deal with them, and then all your problems are just going to conveniently go away.
Your latest article here on Substack, you kind of liken some of the issues that we're going through to a comic strip from years gone by, Pogo.
It dates me, doesn't it?
Well, maybe a little bit, but it's right on. I mean, it's right on the money.
The Pogo comic strip started way back in 1948.
Yeah, well,
but in 1971, the creator of Pogo was a guy named Walt Kelly, who started out as a Disney illustrator, an animator, but then he struck out on his own and created the Pogo comic strip, did Pogo books. But Pogo's probably best known for a line that was in an Earth Day cartoon back in 1971.
Yep. Right.
We are the enemy and he is us.
Yeah.
And I thought in so many respects, too many of us in our society are our own worst enemy, because we are willing to look at whatever shiny object somebody puts in front of us, or we're willing to be distracted. We're willing to focus on what cynical politicians want us to dwell on, instead of staying zeroed in on the most serious challenges facing our society.
Well, you brought up the environment. Pogo brought the environment to the public, finally, bringing some interest to it because of the air pollution that we experienced. We had, at that time, we had acid rain. We had smog problems. And we actually, and I always bring that up when people say, well, climate change isn't a human thing. They haven't caused that. And yet we solve the problem of acid rain. We solve the problem of smog. We can do
DDT,
this.
People,
things like that.
You got to be as old as me to even remember the Pogo comic strip at all. But that comic strip and the other work that Walt Kelly did around the issue of the environment played an incredibly important role in the grassroots environmental movement that ended up inspiring legislation that set higher standards for air and water quality. It prevented the dumping of toxic waste. People forget that Pogo, that character, was a little possum that lived in the Okefenokee swamp.
Right.
And at that time, it was legal to simply dump trash and toxic waste in the Okefenokee swamp.
Right.
And all of that was outlawed. So that movement brought about real results, and the impact was immense. And as I write in the article, then we got complacent again. And now we face this huge crisis where spiraling CO2 levels in the atmosphere are changing the Earth's climate. It is undeniable. It is changing the Earth's climate, and that is a human-caused crisis. We're not doing anything about it. In fact, I think we're going backwards on a lot of policies.
We are going backwards. We're putting coal-powered plants back online.
And so I just wanted to share a couple of the facts that I dropped in this article. People can read the whole thing on Substack. Look me up there. But when you think about these data centers,
right?
The way these data centers are being rolled out, and the need that AI will have for what these data centers provide them, will devour only slightly less energy than the entire nation of Egypt, and more than Malaysia uses.
Wow.
Just these data centers alone, they will generate more carbon emissions than New York and other major cities.
What? Wow.
And they will consume more water than all the bottled water sold globally.
Wow.
They'll consume more water. They'll consume 6 times more water than the entire nation of Denmark uses. Just the data centers planned for the United States that will be needed to furnish what AI demands.
Wow.
This will have an immense impact, and we are not coming to grips with any of this. We are instead being told to keep our eyes somewhere else.
We ran across something where, because of 2 signing statements by Trump, it took the guardrails down for environmental problems with these AI plants. So that's why there's such a rush to do this before anybody else puts any guardrails back in.
Right.
And that's why they don't want any kind of guardrails up for AI itself.
And I get that they have this immigration agenda and they evidently have some aim that they're trying to accomplish here. What they're doing is causing a hell of a lot of chaos and turmoil in the Twin Cities and elsewhere.
Yeah.
But they must have some aim that they're trying to accomplish. But I can't help but think that a big part of the aim is to keep people's eyes off of what's being done with things like AI and what is being done by billionaires so that they can become trillionaires, and to keep focus away from the looting of the American people.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the phone. Cindy is on the line with a question or a comment for you, Mike.
Well, I just wanted to say, Mike, you're being a little harsh on the moron who's not in charge, because he's talking about affordability. Robin Vos is talking about affordability. So their agenda, I think, for this next election is going to be affordability, which I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice about making me want to fall off my chair laughing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what affordability is. But that's going to be their tagline, unfortunately, for the next election is affordability, affordability, affordability. And we all know, except for the people that buy into this, that's all a bunch of hooey.
It is.
Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
And you know, it's hard to believe what certain folks say when you watch what they do.
Right.
And when nothing is being done to deal with the fact that people can't afford to buy homes, renters can't afford to make rent, there isn't adequate health care, or that people's health care premiums are doubling and sometimes tripling. When child care is gobbling up a salary for one earner in a family, and it's hard to afford children these days. Those are the pillars of the American dream, that ability to be able to own a home of your own and raise kids and have a family and support that family. That's what people think of when they think of the American dream, and that has slipped away from so many people. And people are living that reality, and they see it. And if they don't see anything done about it, all the words, that's just sweet talk.
I think they're not seeing anything done about it. I think that's frustrating a lot of people.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
We will continue our conversation with Mike McCabe. After a brief timeout, you can give us a call, 855-752-4842. It's John and Gordy. Stay with us.
Keeping Madison caffeinated and conversating. WMDX.
Still using soap to clean your carpets? Try Zero Res instead. Zero Res cleans deep and dries fast. Zero Res also has a 4.9 Google rating. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean. Call 608-848-9000.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. Neighbors in Kewaunee County upset after large amounts of manure washed off of nearby farm fields and contaminated a local stream that feeds drinking water wells. The DNR says it happened during recent heavy rains, and the agency is monitoring the situation. It's not considered a best practice to spread animal waste on farm fields during the winter when there are no plants to absorb it, although some farms are permitted by the state to do it anyway. The EPA is going to stop considering public health benefits when evaluating air pollution limits. For decades, the agency has calculated the cost savings of avoided hospital visits and premature deaths that come with stronger air pollution rules, but now the agency will no longer consider those calculations that have long been used to justify air pollution protections. Right now on the Defender podcast, how one small Wisconsin community defeated a data center. Listen at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Civic Media Mornings.
Some snow, some rain, some freezing drizzle to contend with. You can't get nice things in Wisconsin without some of the horribles, too, I guess. That's
no,
what
you
it
have
is.
to pay the piper. That piper
drops a lot of snow and cold temperatures, and I want to punch the pipe. I know you like alliteration, that's why I'm throwing in as much alliteration as I possibly can.
Alliteration is one of the best things ever. I can remember things so much easier.
Catch Jamie Martinson and Brian Noonan at your local Civic Media station. Weekdays 6 to 8.
Catch Farm Report updates throughout the day from the Midwest Farm Report, right here on 92.7 WMDX.
Mr. Thompson calls the waiter, orders steak and baked potato. He leaves the bone and gristle and he never eats the skin. The busboy comes and takes it, with a cough contaminates it, puts it in a can with coffee grounds and sardine tins. And the truck comes by on Friday and carts it all away. 1,000 trucks just like it are converging on the bay. Oh, garbage, 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 garbage. We're filling up the seas with garbage, garbage, garbage. What will we do when there's no place left to put all the garbage?
This is John and Gordy with Mike McCabe from Substack in here. And why don't we talk about AOC now?
Yeah, you mentioned her in your latest Substack.
Yeah. I packed a lot in that article.
You really did. You talked about your run for governor, and then after that, you were noticing AOC's amazing
I went to see
victory.
a documentary film called Knock Down the House.
Ah, yeah.
Shortly after the 2018 election, it was about 4 women who ran for Congress that year. 3 of them lost. AOC won a shocking upset.
Yeah.
The last poll in that race had her 35 points down to the incumbent House member, and by some miracle, she won that race and became a member of Congress.
Really? We've got a recent clip from her. Let's play this. She's just really talking about the current mood in the country and what to think about it, what to do about it.
There's 2 things that are happening at once, and this is something that's very important for people to understand. One, there absolutely is an unprecedented abuse of power, destruction of norms, erosion of our government and our democracy in order to prop up an authoritarian style of governance. That is happening. However, they are weaker than they look. And it is important that we remember that, because what they rely on is the impression of power, the perception of inevitability, in us giving up in advance to say, oh, what's going to happen if I stand up, etc. Nothing's going to happen. They rely on that perception of inevitability and power so that people comply in advance and acquiesce in advance and give up in advance. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump is at record levels of unpopularity in his tenure. The Republican House is at record levels of unpopularity. They are underwater across the board, and they know it. And that is causing them to double down in public, but it is backfiring. That is why, whether it's a shutdown, whether it's all of this, they want us to blink first. And we have too much to save. Protecting people is too important a task for us to give up before anything even starts.
It's AOC talking about the mood of the country right now and things that are happening.
Now, my mega
Public
friend
support for immigration policy has cratered.
would disagree with everything she said. You know, the right wing always calls her one of the dumbest people ever. Obviously not.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is a well-respected leader, I think, in this. And I hate using the word leader, but we need somebody in the Democratic Party to kind of guide this party through this maze
And she
that
makes
we have.
such a critical point that we need to take to heart and keep in mind at all times. A lot of what's happening is because of the regime's increasing feeling of vulnerability and the increasing desperation that they feel. They can read polls.
They know what's happening.
They know how to take the pulse of the population. They understand that their support is cratering. That is making them lash out in new ways every day. And with a greater degree of intensity every day. because it's the only play that they have left.
Yeah.
Is to grow more extreme and more desperate, and take measures that they probably wouldn't have they certainly didn't contemplate in the first term of this regime.
Right.
But they're contemplating it all now because they understand that the American people aren't buying what they're selling. That people have turned on them. Even members of their own party in Congress are starting to turn on them.
Right.
Starting to hell, Derek Van Orden, congressman from Wisconsin, finally he never broke ranks. He was as faithful a vote as this regime has ever had, and he turned on him with the Affordable Care Act and said, I can't go there. I got to do something, because he was going to surely lose.
Yeah.
And he's trying to save his skin, and I don't know if he will.
Rebecca Cook is running against him.
Right. There's a couple Democrats in that race running, and
well, this is her second try.
Well, but no, there's going to be a Democratic primary too.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so we don't know who the nominee is going to be yet. But he understands that saving his hide is going to be a tall order, and so even he's starting to break ranks with some of these policies, and all of those are signs that obviously AOC is seeing up close and personal, being in Washington, serving in Congress. But she makes a point that those of us far away from Capitol Hill do need to keep in mind as all this turmoil swirls around us. It's swirling for a reason. There is real desperation there on the part of those who are currently in charge.
Yeah. A lot of distraction, a lot of headlines every day.
Absolutely.
Not
and
only about ICE.
The one thing that Donald Trump is so gifted at is calling attention to himself and getting people's attention.
He manipulated the media like nobody else.
He has a unique gift for getting all eyes on him, forever being in the spotlight. Yeah. He's so good at it. But people need, there is a shift occurring. The direction of the tide is changing, and people need to keep that in mind and then just keep pushing.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind that it's mostly performative.
Yeah.
A lot of this.
Yep. Yeah. He's a showman.
Yep.
That's it. Mike, we got to leave it there. We appreciate it. Talk to you next Wednesday. That's Mike McCabe. Check out his Substack articles. And we'll be back
with Idiocracy
coming up next.
Get up, stand up, get up, stand up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up, get up, stand up, stand up for your right.
WMDX Madison, where politics meet farmers market tomatoes. Your neighbors are talking. Leaders are deciding. Madison's story unfolds daily on 92.7 WMDX.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Two of Wisconsin's biggest providers of gender-affirming care have stopped treatments for minors because of changes from the Trump administration. Last month, the Federal Department of Health and Human Services announced plans to block Medicaid and Medicare reimbursement to hospitals that offer gender-affirming treatments to kids. Pretty much all hospitals participate in Medicaid and Medicare, and a big chunk of their income comes from those programs via reimbursement. Without that money, some hospitals could be at risk of closing. Now, UW Health and Children's Wisconsin have stopped providing hormone and puberty-blocking treatments. Staff from UW Health say, quote, "We recognize the uncertainty faced by our impacted patients and families seeking this gender-affirming care and will continue to support their health and well-being," end quote. And a spokesperson for Children's Wisconsin told WPR they can't offer this care anymore because of, quote, "escalating legal and federal regulatory risk," end quote. These treatments are very rarely used, but advocates say when they are used, they save lives. Analysis by Reuters and Komodo Health shows only about 0.01% of the insured population gets gender-affirming care during childhood. Data published by the National Institutes of Health shows 82% of trans people have considered suicide and 40% have attempted it, making them more vulnerable to ending their lives. And the U.S. Senate is expected to take up a resolution that would limit the president's authority in Venezuela. Wisconsin's 2 U.S. senators are mixed. Democrat Tammy Baldwin was one of 52 yes votes. She's a co-sponsor. Republican Ron Johnson voted no and says the capture of Nicolas Maduro was, quote, undeniably good, end quote. 5 other Republicans joined Democrats in approving it last week. If it clears the Senate, it's unlikely to pass in the House. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The 83rd Golden Globe Awards were held last weekend, and it was one battle after another that got most of the love in the movie category. One battle won Best Picture in the musical comedy category, Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson, who also won in the Best Screenplay category. It was Hamnet that won for Best Drama in the Motion Pic category. Jessie Buckley won for Best Actress for her role in Hamnet. In the Cinematic Box Office Achievement category, Sinners took home the big prize. Brazilian film The Secret Agents, Wagner Moura won Best Actor in a Drama. Best Actress in a Musical Comedy went to Rose Byrne for I'd Kick You If I Had Legs. Timothée Chalamet won Best Actor in a Musical Comedy for Marty Supreme. And it was K-pop Demon Hunters who won the award for Best Animated Film. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 5 to 8 p.m. here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Local news, real voices, and conversations that count. That's Madison. And that's 92.7 WMDX.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Thickening clouds tonight and a low of 5 to 10. Cloudy with snow showers for tomorrow, a high in the mid-20s with accumulations around an inch. Some freezing rain may mix in with the snow Thursday night. Breezy with more snow showers Friday, a high in the mid-30s. Currently 21 degrees.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Pete Schwaba.
Aaron, did you put a Christmas tree up this year?
A really little one.
Mine is still up and it's depressing. I went through a period where I would keep it up through most of January, kind of in protest of winter. Like I wanted it to still seem like the holidays.
At my parents' house, it was always an ordeal. And so we would just leave it up and put off taking all that back down.
And you just got to make a clean break. It's like a breakup. Get it over with. Don't drag it out. Don't try to remain friends with Christmas. Take the stuff down.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, weeknights from
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Intelligence continued to decline until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
No! You dense, irritating miniature beast of burden!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Dumb all the time, and we certainly have an exciting edition of Idiocracy this time around.
Do we? Great.
I think we do.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Trump is up there now bragging about the fact that he threatened Iran. Yeah. And he said, you got to stop killing protesters.
Right, yeah.
So now his current statement is that protester killings in Iran are stopping.
He's declaring that that's happening.
Because of him. Yeah, he stopped the killing of protesters in Iran, but not quite in the United States.
Right.
All right. He isn't making that promise here.
No.
He truly is at war with the American public, isn't he?
Yeah, it seems like it.
America first.
Yeah.
Oh,
America first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
855-752-4842 is our number.
Tell you what, why don't we go to the phones right now? We got a big celebrity on the line who
he's a big deal.
Is a frequent guest of Tom Hartman's.
Right.
And certainly has warmed up to Tom. This is CJ.
Is he there?
I am, gentlemen. Thank
All right.
you.
Sure.
The censorship is over for a little while.
Because you guys have been censoring me for about a week, I guess.
We'll
but-
see.
We'll see.
Tom's been taking my calls for quite a while.
Yeah, well, you're on probation with us.
But you behave with Tom Hartman. You do not do that here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think I react the same. But,
No.
you know, the amount of misinformation and mischaracterization the world celebrates Donald Trump.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's misinformation right there.
Really? Well, you might want to watch some different videos because Venezuela, Cuba,
Iran now. He's saving the lives of protesters in Iran instead of the United States. Wow, big thumbs up.
Yeah, isn't it funny that we can find a dictator, grab him, and be out in 3 minutes, but we can't find any Somalia daycare children?
Maybe we can do that with Trump. I mean,
our
he is a
dictator.
dictator at this
Yeah.
point.
And how did Representative Omar become a millionaire? That's kind of baffling too. But
kind of preoccupied
there's
with
so
that,
many
huh?
things that- yeah, well, I see. We care about that. You
Yeah,
know,
I know.
Walls wants to deflect from the $9+ billion that have been stolen, and so do you. But you know, as we watch,
they've already investigated that.
It's old news.
That's old news, by the way. That's done. You know, they've
as
looked
we
into that.
As we watch promises being kept, have you guys put gas in your car lately? Quite amazing.
Actually, I have an EV, so no, I haven't.
Prices have actually gone up a little bit this week to $2.50 a gallon.
That's right.
And grocery
compared
prices
to-
are higher than they've been since 2022. The rate jumped up.
Well, you know what?
Groceries.
Ron Johnson was right about that.
What about?
He said it's hard to get inflation back down when it's caused, and 21% during the Biden-Harris administration.
9.1.
Can I just say the
It was
first thing I
9.1.
heard you guys
Inflation
the
was
first thing I heard
9.1.
you guys talk about
21%.
was that we just sit back and watch Democrats run their administration. Well, we sure did after 15 million snuck into our country, and
do you think
we
that's
have
new?
to go try to find the criminals.
Do you
now.
think that's new?
And you guys fight for them harder than you do your own girls and women, because Republicans are saving women and girls' sports.
Oh, yeah, that's
as
right.
You
That's right.
destroy it.
Yep. In the Webster Dictionary, they actually attribute the definition of women to you, to megas, because you have been defining what a woman is. Thank you.
At least I can.
Okay. All right.
Good to
CJ.
talk to you,
Yeah,
CJ.
It's good talking to you.
Nice checking in with you. All right, let's go back. Let's see here. Is Tom next? I think Tom from Madison is on the line. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey.
You know, the last time I called this show, CJ was the opening act for me. I really appreciate it.
He's a good warm up, isn't he? Yeah.
He's just in a whole other world, and I missed him on Tom Hartman. I was driving. I had just turned the radio on, and I said, "Thank you, CJ." And I oh no,
yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to these ICE guys, you know, we've been warned for years about the militarization of the police force just everywhere.
Yeah.
And like I was telling, other people, I said, I'm an actor. You dress me up like a pirate, I'm going to act like a pirate. If you dress a guy, I mean, this is a guy who was dragged by a car. He has PTSD. You dress him up like a soldier in a mask. You give him a gun a couple months later after he's had this horrendous thing happen to him. And you have a president of the United States telling him, yeah, you can do anything you want. You're not culpable for anything.
You're immune.
What do you expect to happen? I mean,
right.
It's plus the Pete Hegseth, Macho Man thing going on.
Yeah,
So,
that's outrageous.
Yeah, we're bringing this on. Hopefully, we can encourage all our congressmen and senators who hold the purse strings for ICE to, let's get some stuff in order here. And I really applaud Kristi Noem being impeached. That's a nice first move.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
I hope so.
That'd be a good place to start. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Let's
go to Matt in Middleton.
Hey, Matt.
Hey guys, I think our friend from Stoughton's been watching those AI-generated videos that the White House is sending out, showing people that we're popular and everybody loves Trump, and his face is actually really orange and it's not makeup. But the big picture here, though, is this is the last dance of American power. China is showing the world a more stable system, a better system. America no longer provides peace, stability, security for the world. The Republican Party are a bunch of cowards. They have no idea of how to fix anything or do anything better. So they want to go back to the 1800s. And it really just shows how powerful that propaganda of Fox News has been to really warp reality for all these people.
That's a great
point. And like the
Yeah.
parable of the prisoner in the cave, they do not want to wake up to the real world. They want to cling to their white identity and attack liberals.
Yeah.
So
That
hopefully
sums
we
it up.
get through it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Matt, thank you for that.
Trying to help everybody through this time.
Right.
These hard, difficult, dark times.
Yeah, it is difficult. Let's go back to the phones here. Wisco Paul is on the line. Paul, go ahead.
Well, I'm really not compelled to call in twice in a day, but when you have CJ on, I just he at one time always called in and said the world was on fire under Biden. Well,
what is it
it's
now?
on fire now. It's on fire now, and I don't know how anyone can watch a video of a woman murdered and be okay with it. So that's all I want to say, boys. I'll try not to call in twice, but
that's okay.
when CJ calls, I just can't help myself. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
That's
I
all.
know.
That's all good. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, that's. I know. We're watching this disaster unfold before our very eyes. We're seeing ICE agents get complete immunity from doing anything and everything they think they can do out there in the American public.
Well, and it's again another distraction. This time a huge distraction. But when was the last time we talked about the Epstein files? Again, that's just getting shoved into the back of the pile.
It is.
I think they're 27 days late in releasing all the files, something like that. And now they said they found another million files.
A million files.
So that's going to take them
there.
3 or 4 years to release everything. I mean, come on.
Weren't they sitting in a pile on Pam
ridiculous.
Bondi's desk in between not existing and then being Obama's fault?
Well, yes.
I think she had them in her hand, didn't she?
had
At
them.
least some of them. It wasn't 1,000 folders, but
But they were on her desk
but
at
they
one
said
time.
they know
That's it.
how to put the Epstein files off.
Yeah, they sure
really
do.
have.
Yeah, we're not
But, I
hearing
mean,
much about that now.
But I don't believe the other things that are happening are distractions. I think there are actual things that we have to be panicking about at this point. Trying to
Venezuela,
get Greenland. It's just never ending.
Bombing Iran, maybe, and
Well, there was
Ukraine war. There's a war going on.
Yeah.
In Ukraine. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, CJ is talking about the price of gas coming down, and I'll give it to him. Gas is going down in some parts of the
generally
country.
speaking. Yeah.
But all of a sudden, we're paying more in utility rates.
Utility rates.
Yeah, this was from Canary Media. You might have heard that story on the station here. Utilities are already paying to keep aging coal plants open under the Department of Energy emergency orders. Now, new demands have been revived for these non-functioning units. They're going to put them back online, and the consumers are going to see this in their monthly bills. So they can give us a tax cut, which, by the way, the tax cuts are the same tax cuts from the last time. So we're not going to see any change in the tax cuts that we received way back during the first Trump administrations. So you're not going to see something new, except maybe if you're, getting a tax cut for your tips. But even that is very difficult to get as well. But back to the utilities. Our bills are going up. Really, they're really going to go up, not only just because of the AI centers that are going up, but these coal plants are deemed uneconomical to operate. That's why they shut them down. Customers already are grappling with skyrocketing electricity rates. and they're more likely to shoulder more of the cost to get these old coal plants up and running again. And by the way, this order is for 90 days. So they're supposed to get coal plants up and running in 90 days, which I would assume would take a whole hell of a lot longer than that.
I would think, yeah.
None of the plants that the Department of Energy has forced to stay open is needed, according to the Department of Energy. And despite its claims of energy crisis, the federal government is throwing up roadblocks, of course, for wind and solar and battery projects that are fast and cheap. In fact, wind and solar are the cheapest forms of energy that we have.
Yeah.
Now, putting the infrastructure in place is what's costing us a little money and raising our bills.
Yeah, it takes
But
time.
Once that's in place, those bills should start coming down and declining. But if you put coal-powered plants back in operation that have been closed down because they're uneconomical, let's not do that. That sounds ridiculous. But it is.
It is.
It's very ridiculous.
Right?
I mean, people are going to shoulder the cost of this. Yeah, I'm freaking out. I told you yesterday, my very first energy bill, over $500. I don't know how that happened. I'm thinking, is it the Christmas lights?
What kind of Christmas lights did you use?
Is it the candle warmers? I'm not sure what it is. I'm scratching my head. I don't know what happened.
Really, $500?
Over $500.
That's
crazy.
Incredible.
It really is.
Okay. We'll be back to wrap things up for this Wednesday in a moment. Still time to get in a last-minute phone call. 855-752-4842. John and Gordy will be right back.
All right.
It's all right. It's all right.
Between the lakes and beyond the headlines, 92.7 FM WMDX is where Wisconsin turns for real news and great conversation.
At Allure Intimate Apparel, fit is everything. Not just how something feels, but how it makes you feel. Bras, sleepwear, swim, and intimates, Allure has it all. Their industry professionals and trained fit specialists deliver a discreet, graceful experience that honors every figure. It's style without compromise, elegance without effort. Allure is thoughtfully expanding. Come visit their brand new Hilldale Shopping Center location, where women will discover how fit and confidence go hand in hand. Visit allurefits.com.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You can support animals in need in our community when you shop at Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores. Thrift Store West on Watts Road and Thrift Store East on High Crossing Boulevard. Shop gently used and new clothing and accessories, home goods, toys, furniture, and a whole lot more. All proceeds from the Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores support the comfort and care of animals in need across the county. Visit giveshelter.org/thrift for more information.
I'm Rick Smith, host of The Rick Smith Show. If you're looking for honest talk, real stories, and straight-up news that matters to you, tune in to The Rick Smith Show. We're digging into the issues that affect your job, your family, your future. Join me weeknights at 9 on the Civic Media Radio Network, because your voice deserves to be heard. That's The Rick Smith Show, heard weeknights at 9 right here on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Listen to the Civic Media exclusive podcast, Busted Pencils.
Our guest, Dr. Jonathan Gerko. Johnny, jump in there.
I think there was very little radical about Mamdani. Free buses, for example. I ride the bus. Very few people actually pay the fare today. And you're riding the bus to work.
John and Gordy back.
Cindy texted and said, CJ is a paid agitator. We had a paid
the John and
agitator
Gordy show.
story, yeah.
Well, we talked about all these other stories that are distracting us from the Epstein files. We just wanted to double check on that. The Justice Department told the court a few days ago it had released 12,285 files since being compelled to do so way back in December 19th. And they're 27 days late right now, releasing all the files. They went on to say there's more than 2 million documents that remain in various phases of review. Assuming all those under review will be disclosed, the entire process could take another 8 years. 8 years.
And they had
they're
so
saying
long.
now.
Sure.
They had so long to mess with all this, and they still didn't finish up.
Well, we'll check back with them in 8 years, in 2034, see if they get it done with it yet.
Well, they're not protecting, pedophiles.
Well, yeah, they're taking their sweet time.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Brett from Brown Deer is on the line. Hey, Brett.
Hey, guys. Hey, seems I got a new hobby. It's fact-checking CJ.
Good
That's
luck.
a full-time hobby.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, about the interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Entire 8 years of Reagan, inflation rates, were 13%, never below it.
Yeah.
When Biden left office, he left inflation rate at 2.9.
2.9.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Okay,
the the highest point, by the way, under Biden was 9.1 inflation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as far as the videos of the Venezuela people celebrating, they're not celebrating. Nothing has changed. The videos CJ saw were from the national soccer team won a 2024 qualifying match.
That's right, yes.
They're all wearing
CJ
jerseys.
They're wearing jerseys.
Yeah, CJ, the little tip was everybody's got a soccer jersey.
Yeah, that
not
was.
A club, not a red hat.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's,
All right, well,
that's amazing.
I've had my fun. Thanks, guys.
All right, yeah, thanks for fact-checking for us on
we
this
appreciate
thing,
that,
yeah.
Brett. Okay.
I want to get to this, that Ford employee that shouted out pedophile protector at Trump when he was at the Ford factory.
Yeah.
Well, he was suspended. His name is T.J. Sabula. And of course, Trump did the mature thing.
Yeah, he flipped him off.
He flipped him off.
and said F
and the F
you.
word, F you, and flipped
a couple
him
of
off.
times, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how presidential of him.
It is. It is. This is what, he's, you got to respect him for that.
Tells it like it
is. Yeah, he tells it like it is.
Sure.
That's exactly it. How about this?
But
this poor guy suspended without pay, by the way. He's got 2 GoFundMe pages, not himself, but other people put this up for him. $365,000 so far raised at those 2 GoFundMe pages.
Getting a lot of support. Huh?
Yeah.
For yelling at the president.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I think a lot of people would like to. So.
Yeah. Well, he had a chance to, and he did.
Now, let's go to Tony DeCoppel. Right? This guy, he's the anchor of CBS News. He was interviewing Trump. So let's listen to cut 216.
I'm just trying to be fair here, just trying to do my job, and I want to talk about this assembly line here.
To me, it's vibrant. Listen to the sound.
It's incredible, right?
I love the sound of an assembly line.
It's incredible. But they've got one not far from here. They just idled the electric vehicle plant.
Well, yeah, but it's going to gasoline vehicles.
Yeah, it's going to go to gasoline.
Well, but why don't you say that, Tony? You can't say.
You didn't give me a chance. I'm coming there. I'm coming around.
I agree. I said I want electric and I want gasoline and I want hybrids. I want everything. But you were going to be forced under the mandate to buy an electric car in a very short period of time. I didn't want that, and I ended that. Now people can have electric, they can have gasoline, they can have hybrid.
But are they going to have people to build these cars? The CEO of Ford said not long ago he's got 5,000 open mechanic jobs. He can't find people willing and able to fill them.
That's a good thing, Tony. That means it's vibrant. You could also have things where you have so many people and they can't get jobs. It's true. We are doing so well, it's hard. Now, what's going to happen is people are being trained rapidly, and you're going to have a thing called robots. And robots are going to be a big factor. I predict that robots are going to be a big factor in the future, and it's going to help out. But you have a situation now where our economy is doing so well that it's not that easy to get people.
It isn't. What? Okay, that is so upside down, inside out, and just through the looking glass that it's hard to even fact check that one. So they need 5,000 mechanics. They can't find the 5,000 mechanics, but that's okay. That's because the economy is doing fantastically.
Yeah.
And by the way, when they do get these mechanics trained for their factories, if there's not enough of them, they'll have robots to help them.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure that's what he said.
I don't know.
Just really,
Logic's
truly an amazing
upside down,
thing.
backwards, and going the wrong way.
But I got to say,
one-way street.
Tony DeCoppel
Yeah.
really did a good job of kind of bringing up,
Yeah.
some of the negative things that are going around. The Ford plant.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I've been pretty angry about it myself. I mean, he really did kill off the EV industry just from getting rid of the rebates, which is kind of a startling thing. But, we were waiting for all of the charging stations to go up across the country, which is something Biden put in place.
Right.
I think they put that on hold now.
Well, and it seemed like at first he was promoting them. He had Elon Musk bringing all those EVs onto the White House lawn. It looked like a used car lot.
I thought he was going to, as soon as he got behind the wheel of an EV, he'd be sold on it.
But that's not the case.
That didn't happen. Well, Elon's not a good car salesman.
No, apparently. Tomorrow on the show, Jim Santel and Rocker. That's it for us. Schwab is next. We hope you have a great evening. So long. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Adios.
Hit the bricks.
Au revoir.
Goodbye.
Hit the button.
Got any mechanics around here?